Hey, everybody. This is the Uncanny Omar from Near Mint Condition. I don't know why I'm doing a sound check up there because my mic isn't hooked up to this machine. But this is the home of collected editions, and today we are back. We're doing our Batman Evergreen list. Batfamily Omnibus Evergreen. And I am not alone doing this. I have gathered a panel of fine folks to discuss what top 10 Batman Omnis belong on the DC Evergreen list. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves, starting with this lady to my right.
Hi, I'm Wonder Maddie, and I'm also here. I've been here forever, and I host a show on Tuesdays on this channel called Old Reader, New Reader. Come say hi sometime.
And to my right, that was my right, whatever. That guy over here. Dom, who are you?
Domofx, content creator by the same name, YouTube channel by the same name. I am the assistant editor of comicreleases.com, where we just put up the Marvel August 2024 solicitations up, documented and fully prepared for you all. I'm also the project manager for Near Mint Condition, so if you see a thumbnail, you see maybe a random video, there's a good chance I probably worked on it. And thank you, Omar, for having me here today.
Can you change the host of that channel since you're in such a Dom? Do something
yes,
about
sir?
Can you change the host of very fine condition, or do you have enough power?
I can. I do have the power to do that, but I will do that.
You've got 2 good minutes of breathing, and you're going to waste it on that, Jess.
I'm dying here.
Below Maddie is Crisis. Who are you, Crisis? What's up?
I'm currently blinded. I've come out of my broom closet that I've been living in for the past 3 weeks, working on the DC Omnibus poll in Omar's basement, Omar's mother's basement, and now I'm here. Crisis with a K. I blog at Crushing Crisis, where I cover the vast amount of the Marvel and DC universe and how to collect them, as well as new releases from both every week. And I think I've been Stockholm syndrome by the DC Omnibus poll because I've been reading Batman every day for the past couple weeks because I wanted to make sure that none of these fools could spring an omnibus on me that I had not read issues from before. So I am ready to get batty today with you all.
Fools! He's calling us fools.
You got to start the invective early.
Yeah, he's already splitting up the alliances. All right, and below me is Kid Omnidog. Who are you?
Hey everyone, I'm Jake from The Brave and the Boys, and I have a bone to pick because Jess still calls me his intern, but Dom is project manager. Like, I gotta get a better title than intern.
You guys need to take that up on your own time.
I sent you something today, and you sent it back, and it doesn't work. This is not good quality control starting your first
editing
day.
with flawless.
Whoa, okay, let's put that on Omnidog's time. You're on Near Mint Condition time.
Yes, on Near Mint time. I'm very excited. I feel like I've been preparing for this stream my whole life, being that 80% of what I own and read is Batman. So I'm very excited to win today.
Win.
Lars, who are you, sir?
Lars Pearson, publisher and editor-in-chief of Mad Norwegian Press, formerly of Wizard Magazine. Now, I have a question for Dom here that I've never really asked, because as the Near Mint intern, I always wondered if one of your duties was to clean Omar's shelves with a feather duster while wearing a French maid's outfit. Okay. Was that part of your duty? And do you still do that now that you're project manager? Do you still do that?
I don't know how they ran crap at Wizard Magazine, but that's not the way I run it at Near Mint.
That's pretty standard. That makes me wear the French maid outfit.
I think
you have to, because some of those figures are sticky.
Hey, they came that way, okay? They came
just found out Rock Bottom has a basement.
Okay, and Brian, this is your first time on the show. Who are you? Take some time to introduce yourself, buddy.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I thought you were going to save me best for last, but Jess is the best.
Oh, crap. I skipped Jess again. I'm so sorry about that. All right.
I'm
go ahead.
Brian from Sheehan is Dead Comics. We are a fledgling YouTube channel, but we've had some great guests like Omar, the adorable Omnidog on. We've also had them on together. Great time. We've also had some other guests like Dan DiDio, Judd Winnick, Jason Fabek. Check us out. And
you interviewed Judd Winnick? I'm jealous.
Yes, I did.
I love it.
Dude, I interviewed him the day of the Red Hood Deluxe, September 5th.
Oh, nice.
What an awesome conversation. We deep dove on the book, the movie. He shared some insights like behind the scenes. A great conversation and a great guy. I love Judd. So But I like Jake. He said he's got 80% Batman. I'd say I have about 90% Batman in my Omni and Absolute collection, and I've been programmed with Batman, and I'm ready to spew some facts. So
Okay, facts. I like
Sweet.
that. He came with facts, Jess. What did you bring, Jess?
Dupe.
That is not
Dupe.
even DC. That is not even
Where's
DC.
your Bat Knight, Jack?
Not? Oh,
You've never heard of the Dupe
ma-
Knight?
My choices may be mixed up then, Peter. Those dupe books. I'm Omnidog from Omnidog's Vault on YouTube and Instagram, and I have a Discord. All Omnidog's Vault. Check me out. And Kid Omnidog, what are you doing with that name? The video you sent me is not uploading. What the hell? Your first day of work as an intern? Why is it not working?
I can't believe you guys are still arguing. Okay, we will take that after the show. Thank you so
We'll
much.
take that off air.
Love you guys. Peter, how many issues do you read usually? This is a good question. Read per day,
Oh.
week. Also, Morrison's Batman for the win. Oh, will it be here?
Wow, that's a good question. You know, Marvel usually has out between 14 and 20 books a week, and DC between like 8 and 12. Usually, I don't read a lot of Black Label, and so I usually read everything in a 1 to 3 month lag, depending on which one of them. So, I mean, at minimum, I'm reading whatever those two numbers plus each other was, like 25, 26, and then I also try to read a little bit of an older run. So, but my ideal pace is actually 8 issues a day because I'm trying to break 3,000 issues read again this year
Wow.
to get back to my old level of consistency.
is that a world record? Are you going for?
No, I mean there are some folks out there who I know read like 10,000 comics a year. Bless them,
Yeah,
people who've
it's
read
insane.
the entire Marvel universe. I tried to read 2 times the year. So if it's 2024, I'm trying to read 4,048 ideally, but I don't know if I'm going to get there.
Choice. I'm leaving the stream. Interesting, Bunkmaster.
Whoa, throwing threats out.
When do I get to argue with
Goodness
Bunkmaster? I've been promised that showdown sometime in the next
wanna
month
see
or
it.
two. Yeah.
I'd pay to watch that.
That will come. That will come. Goodness gracious, Omnidog looks like a man that was carved from stone by Neil Adams himself.
What, with the recoloring or the original colors?
Oh,
These colors have faded badly.
thank you, Elon, for the sweet compliment about Omnidog and being carved by Neil Adams. Really interesting. So today we are talking about the Batman Batfamily Evergreen. Peter, would you like to explain the rules in case somebody is new to this?
Sure, let's get that share going, folks, and we will explain the rules.
Whoa!
No
Look
rules.
at all these
No
rules.
rules.
Yeah.
So first, actually, let's throw to Dom, Near Mint project manager. Dom, what is Evergreen and why are we arguing about it?
Oh man, Evergreen is another way to refer to a book that is always in print, which means that as the publisher sees that it's low in stock, it'll never ever get out of stock because it's always in print. And DC has a lot of Evergreen books like Sandman Volume 1, Watchmen, Batman Year 1, stuff that they always try to keep in print, but it doesn't apply to any of their omnibuses, unfortunately. And I've got a good lot of them, but I think really they just don't have much that they keep on rotating in print.
Dom,
right.
I'm not gonna say any names, but the elderly in the panel are complaining that you're just too darn loud. You're just too darn loud, kid. So turn down the microphone.
That's the first time I've ever been called elderly.
I didn't
Yeah.
say any names. What are you doing here, Jake?
All right, so here are the rules for those of you who are coming to this Evergreen debate for the first time. Each one of us have picked 3 Batman or Batfamily Omnibus volumes that we think should be Evergreen, and we've all got our own reasons. Some people think they should be good for new readers. Some people think it's because they're #1 sellers. Some people pick sentimental favorites. There's no cross-panel criteria. Everybody has their own reasons. None of us shared our picks ahead of time until Omar just saw the slides about 5 minutes ago, and we're going to have
I
3
still haven't looked at them.
I'm so scared.
we have 3 rounds of discussion. So we all present our choices and why we pick them.
Oh my
we do a
God.
bit of debate about why each other are wrong. And then we do the voting. Ideally, only 10 books will make our final list. And we might give the chat some say in that as well. And just a reminder, we're all very good friends off the channel, but this is not a place for friendship. This is not a My Little Pony stream. Friendship is not magic. So we will
I'm
be...
sensitive.
That doesn't
We're
work.
gonna be
That
quite-
doesn't work on Peter, Maddie.
tough on each other.
No.
Brian is our newbie and our first alphabetically. I believe you are first. Are you ready, sir?
I am ready. Thank you. Wow.
Crush it.
I love it. All right. These are my choices. Like Peter said, I was thinking of new readers, but also my sentimental favorites. The Batman by Loeb Sale has, the Long Halloween, Dark Victory. It also has Catwoman When in Rome. That's an awesome starting place. It's like the foundation of who Batman is after year one. And then Nightfall is the modern foundation of which Batman is built upon. So I love Nightfall. You got to check out Nightfall and the whole saga, not just the first volume. And then almost directly after that, leading into No Man's Land also. No Man's Land, the whole story, but starting with No Man's Land Volume 1 and 2. I love that story. That's where Gotham has a big earthquake. And then Batman and the Batfamily and the GCPD and the criminals all have their sections that they claim and spray paint their ownership on the walls. So these are mine, and I think they're absolutely killer. And this should be number one. So thank you.
Well, I know Jess will agree with one of your picks.
That is a strong start. Definitely tell Dom is not loud enough for myself to hear. Thank you for that, Bruce. And really quick, just for people that are keeping an eye on maybe I should have a chart on like a slideshow chart of my blood pressure.
There's overlays for that. Actually, a lot of streamers, like Twitch streamers, will actually have their like heart rate and stuff like live. I think you should do that for some shows.
God, that's a bad idea.
We review
and then we could say certain book names and watch it spike, like Phoenix, and then watch the
Sure.
All right. Moving along, I believe our next panelist will be Domofx. Dom, explain and defend your three choices.
Okay, well, first off, is my mic better? Is it softer than it was?
Ask the chat. They were the ones complaining.
It's a little bit quieter now.
I think that's good. But I don't have old ears. I can't.
What's that? What?
You're fine, Dom.
Okay. I'm just trying to make sure because this is the first time anyways. So my picks. So I use nearly the same Excel sheet format that I did for the X-Men Evergreen Omnis, and I applied it to here, except I dumped it all away and actually went with my feelings on my Evergreens this time. So let me all present my picks for the Batman Evergreens. And for me, one of the things that I appreciate about DC is that they have a lot of standoff omnibuses that you can read on its own without prior reading material. And what I love about that is that you can actually go ahead and pick up those stories instead of I need to know X, Y, and Z about the character. And I believe that all of these omnibuses have that format of I can read this without prior knowledge or anything else. So first off is Batman: The Rise and Fall of the Batman, which I kind of find interesting just because it's a Detective Comics Omni that got rebranded as a Batman Omni. So when Tynan's Batman comes out in Omni, what are they going to call it? But nonetheless, it's a fantastic run. It's pretty much the textbook modernized Batfamily book. If you want to know how everyone is right now in a modern setting, you start off with Tynan's Detective Comics. It's got wonderful artwork by Alvaro Martinez Bueno, Eddie Barrows. They all kill it on this Omni. So I believe that should be one of them. For the simple fact, you get to get introduced not only to Batman, but everyone else. Second Omni,
I'm giving you snaps back here. Preach it, Dom. Preach it.
No, Maddie, what are you doing? That's not what we do here.
I don't know the rules. Told me the rules. You literally
She's trying to form an alliance early.
No one told me anything. No one told me.
God, it's the Hunger Games all over again.
She is forming an alliance. Well done. Look at poor sweet Dom. Good picks, Dom. Remember my picks. Go ahead.
Oh man. But anyways, continuing on. The second one is a book that is super near and dear to my heart, Batman and Robin by Tomasi and Gleason. When I was in middle school, my cousin in the Philippines, she would always get me some New 52 trades for me to read, hang out, and pick out. And this was one of the books that she gave to me. I read the entirety of this run, and my gosh, like it made me fall in love with Patrick Gleason, and also made me fall in love with Damian Wayne as a character. Someone when heading in, like I knew was like super bratty, super nonsensical. I didn't know like how I should feel about him, but this run made me love the character. And not only that, if for the foundation that James Gunn is going to be putting into those Batman Brave and the Bold movies that will be coming with the new DCU, I think this is going to be a fantastic introduction for anyone who's trying to get into Damian Wayne's character, and also, again, a modernization of will Batman and Robin ever die? And this is just a continuation of that sort with Bruce and Damian. It's a great father-son book and combo. And last but certainly not least, Gotham Central. I always like marvel how when people say read 52 after Infinite Crisis, they never say read Gotham Central after, but I feel like it's not only a solid follow-up and continuation of all the stuff that Johns and Rucka were setting in that event, it's also a fantastic look of what does Gotham feel like with how they have to sort of figure out, hey, like what happens when the GCPD actually goes behind the scenes in this setting and drama? Do they have like, how does Batman affect that? How does Batman affect the GCPD? It's a wonderful, fantastic story on Renee Montoya and everyone else who's a part of that. And I feel like that run should have gone on a little bit longer. I wish Brubaker stayed on that book longer, but I mean, otherwise those are my three picks, and I think these should all be evergreen by DC.
All right. A lot of people in the chat are throwing out some great suggestions. I will remind you, this can only use omnibuses that already exist. So if you're asking for us to have, why didn't you pick Tom King? There's no Tom King Batman Omnibus. If you want it, you want to go and vote on the DC Omnibus Most Wanted poll presented by Tiger Eyes. And that is open until next Wednesday. So this is a great chance to go, whoa, you mean there's no omnibus that has blank, which I think a few of us are going to mention. That is a great reason to head over to the poll and register your votes. I'm sure James has put the link in the chat. Up next, we have Kid Omnidog for now.
Peter.
Kid Omnidog.
Let me get the super chat really quick.
Sure, yeah.
I have to turn my processor down when Dom speaks, up for everyone else. Thank you, Dom, for that. By the way, that was a good sound check. And you said who's up next? I'm sorry.
Me. Okay, I have to. My bone to pick is that Jake, Kid
Got
Omnidog. I wasn't told that it was a Batman and Batfamily pick, you know, so maybe I would have picked Gotham Central because I love it.
Jake,
but I stand by my choices.
I said it was a Batfamily.
I just double checked the message on Facebook.
Also, Rise and Fall of the Batman is essentially Batfamily. Batman's not
technically, yeah.
He's on the cover, but yes, I love my choices.
But...
I stand by my choices.
No one's attacking you yet. That's still to come.
I know, but it's coming. I know. Batman New 52. This is where I started reading Batman in high school. And it, you know, at least the first omnibus I think is phenomenal. I think the series kind of peters off a little bit in the second volume omnibus, but that first one is just quintessential Batman that you can jump into. And then
I do not condone book burning. But
oh man, that is evil. That's evil.
Wow, book burning. How about a root beer bath?
Ooh. I mean, how many books has he drowned? Okay. Moving on. Batman by Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale. This is like my favorite early Batman stuff. I love the absolutes. This is like, I read this often. And then Rise and Fall of the Batman, I threw in because I wanted some stuff with secondary characters that also included Batman. So it's honestly like out of all of them here, Rise and Fall of the Batman made me cry the most. Like the stuff with Clayface and Cassandra Cain is just brilliant. And it made me care about characters I never cared about before.
Okay.
Well said.
Right. I believe I am up next here.
And, Peter, do you want me to present, or are you good presenting?
No, I'm happy to keep doing it. You just live your life, Omar. I might talk to you when we do the voting because you know I'm frantic like Kermit Arms when that happens. So as I mentioned at the beginning, I really sat down and I read 4 or 5 issues from every single Batman omnibus that has ever been published because I did not want to come here as a neophyte and just like say the same couple of books I've only read before. And of course, I read a lot of the content in this first one, Batman by Loeb and Sale, because I've been around since these books were releasing. But as I read one issue, I found that I was reading 2 issues, and then I was reading 10 issues, and then I was reading 13 issues late into the night last night. night after my picks were already due to Omar, because the material in this Loeb and Sale omnibus is that good. If you don't know it well, Batman Long Halloween is effectively Batman year 1.5 or 2.5, depending on where you want to put it in continuity. It's also kind of the origin of Two-Face, and it's spectacular. Tim Sale's artwork is just so iconic. There's so many panels that just leap out at you. I'm more of a story person than an art person, but this is artwork that you need to have in an omnibus. And because there's no true omnibus of Batman year 1 or year 2 yet, get to voting on the poll, folks. This is really like the best modern version of in continuity early Batman you can hand to a reader. And it's tracks so closely to the Nolan films, which I think so many people have seen. There's so many lines that are quoted from the Nolan films, so many lines the Nolan films took from this, scenes they took from this. So it felt very familiar. This is probably the first time I've read it since before 2006. So this is the first time I've ever read it since I've seen Christian Bale as Batman. I just think it's just so high quality and it has a timeless feel to it. That's my first choice. My second choice, Grayson, possibly controversial, especially since I don't like Tom King. But I had to pick this one because as I was going through my list of every Batman omnibus, I'm like, where's the Batman omnibus where he's super cool and he does all of the coolest stuff and it's all one story and he's like international and all these things I was asking for kind of happen in Morrison's Batman Inc., but not in a way that's as tightly packaged as this one. I went back through the individual issues. I pretty much loved every single issue of this. It's got Mikel Janin on artwork who's absolutely extraordinary. It just moves. It's kind of like shows you why Nightwing is such a compelling character without him actually being Nightwing, which maybe is a little bit of cheating, but I think in spirit it's actually totally a Batman book because he does all of the things Batman does, but maybe even a little bit cooler and sexier. So then finally we come to one that I'm so happy and gratified to see everybody pick. I don't need to talk a lot about it. The thing I'll add about Batman Rise and Fall of the Batman is I have this feeling I get when I read X-Men comics. It's not just because I like X-Men. It's like the team, the family, the soap opera, the internal conflict. That's what I love the most about comics. And this is the first time I ever read a Batman comic other than maybe Gotham Central, where I was like, yes, Batman is doing all of that stuff. It's not just that I'm an X-Men fan. I'm just a messy bench who likes drama fan. And that's what I got out of this one. And so that is why it is one of my choices. Also, absolutely outstanding artwork from Eddie Barrows and Alvaro Martinez Bueno, as people have already mentioned. All right. I do believe Lars the Norwegian Assassin is up next.
Oh, boy. Pew, pew. Pew, pew.
Of course, Lars.
Well, okay. I decided to shake things up a little bit. And also, this was harder than I was expecting because I thought to myself, well, there's not that many Batman omnibuses to choose from. So surely this won't be too hard. And I realized that actually the number of sheer bulletproof ones, there actually wasn't that many because, again, there's no Batman by Frank Miller. There's no, ones that would be bulletproof don't exist. I think Peter spelled out why the Long Halloween Loeb and Sale omnibus. I think because there's no Frank Miller omnibus, this is the most influential, beloved, timeless Batman story there is. I think having on the list just makes a natural sense. I went for Batman by Grant Morrison because I felt someone had to. And it's interesting how I think there is this thin sliver of Batman fandom that loathes this book, but it is pretty widely beloved. It is very widely influential. It does sell well. People gravitate toward it. Even as I say this now, it's in the top 100 DC sellers. And it's a very interesting take on Batman. I did go with Hush because I felt some need to give the people what they want. This isn't necessarily my favorite Batman story, but I felt we should take a look at books that are outrageously popular. And I couldn't bring myself to put Nightfall on the list because Nightfall is an extremely well-known story, but frankly, I think Nightfall's pretty terrible. Yeah, I know. Well, I know that Jess agrees with me on that one. Hush isn't necessarily my favorite, but it's got Jim Lee's art.
Yes.
People keep coming back to it again and again and again. And by the way, I don't think Hush is terrible. I think it underperforms. But give the people what they want. And so frequently what they want is Batman Hush.
Man of the people.
You
Okay.
don't actually believe in this choice.
Peter, when do we start arguing? I can't remember. We let everybody.
We let everybody say their piece. It's like, you know, debate rules. Everybody gets their opening statement without getting interrupted too much, except for Omnidog. And then we will actually debate as we go back through. I believe next up will be the wonderful Wonder Maddie with her first ever Evergreen picks.
Right on.
All right, real quick though. I did forget, or actually I did not know that there was an omnibus of Tinian's Detective Comics. And had I known, that's my favorite Batman story, so I would have replaced Snyder and Capullo. But I will try to stand by my picks. Snyder and Capullo I really like just because of I really appreciate the way that there was a huge tie-in with this main story with all of the other Batfamily stories in New 52. Because as I was reading, like through New 52, I was reading all of these different series separately, and I love the way it all ties in. And I love this kind of almost like dark, hokey mystery at the heart of Gotham and what that all is. And so I put that there. Now, the next one, I think I'm the only one that put Super Sons, but to me, Super Sons is the most fun book you can have. And Batman is no one without his Bat family. I love all of the classic Batman stories, like, you know, all the, you know, top 10 must reads where it's just Batman going through his trauma and doing all of his stuff, and that's great. But to me, Batman is at his most interesting when he is with people that he really cares about, that shows him that there is the human side to Bruce Wayne, which he often forgets. And I think that one of the best ways that highlights this is true of Super Sons and Batman and Robin, is in particular with Damian, who, even though he is very much Damian, it is very interesting to see Batman through Damian's lens and Batman with Damian. And any moment that he's with his family, I think it makes him a lot more human, and it makes a lot of the higher stakes things that Batman goes through a lot more interesting. Super Sons is one that I know I can recommend to anyone. Any new reader, if they're like, I don't know about Big Two, and I'm like, here you go. And by then they've read it, they love it, and they want to read more DC books. And same for Batman and Robin. I think they're good. They're very good people stories. I think Tomasi knows very well how to just characterize characters very well. That sounds repetitive. His characters are very dynamic, and they're very approachable and interesting, and they feel very human. And those are the stories that I tend to gravitate towards, and those are the stories that I can recommend to newer readers to get them into the wider, more complicated, really stupid storylines of comics. And I say that in a very I love comics. They're dumb. When I explain the storylines, they're very silly. And these are a good stepping stone to get them really attached and interested. So there we go. There's my pitch.
All right, next we are moving on to the comics-loving K9 who spends his Saturdays in the Batcave. Folks, it is Omnidog.
Oh, yes.
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 Thank you. I chose Batman, Snyder, and Capullo Volume 1, like a couple other people. I feel like this book reset, excuse me, a hard reset for, is it, did I?
You okay, Jess?
Well, it says Maddie.
Oh, I'm so sorry, sir. Let me fix
You've been
that.
sabotaged.
It's
Jess.
me again.
Sabotage.
Whatever Maddie said about
There
Snyder
we go.
and Capullo, yeah, I agree.
Okay.
It was a hard. I think it was a hard reset for Batman. With New 52, the Court of Owls story, I think, is remarkable and added just a ton to Batman lore. Snyder also went, I feel, deeper into the psychosis of Joker and made him truly reprehensible as somebody who's not really insane but delights in his crimes, and made him so terrible that I think Batman even was concerned. These stories were just brilliant. The first half, I agree, is the strongest half. The second half, even though I enjoyed it, was not as strong as the first half. And it's just, and the art is beautiful. I chose Batwoman I feel like Rise and Fall of the Batman is primarily a Batwoman book and really well done. And I agree with those choices. I love this Batwoman book because of not the cover. This is one of the worst covers they could have chose, but Greg Rucka's story. I don't want to spoil it, but the character of Alice adds a lot to the Batwoman story and is just a curveball that I never saw coming. The artwork, of course, by J.H. Williams is remarkable. J.H. Williams' contribution to this is very long and really draws together the family aspect. Kate Kane's father figures large and prominently in this, and you get a real sense of who she is, what she's been through, and how tight she is with her father. Unfortunately, this one did get cut short because at the time DC had a no marriage edict, and so Kate couldn't get married to her girlfriend as they wanted. And yeah, it does not have Mark Andreyko does the best he can with the last follow-up issue that tries to tie together all the loose ends. But I feel like this is just a wonderful Kate Kane book that shows her as a super badass. My last pick.
Yes.
I am normally
over to the dark side.
Wait! I thought you hated that story.
I hate this story. I am a man. What? Just hang on. I have my moment. Normally, I'm a man of peace and love, but today I bring you the war and hate of Batman Nightfall. Yes, I just did not like the story at all. It is a ridiculous story that has Bane facing Batman at his weakest, which is like, come on. If you wanted to break him and break his mind and everything, take him on in the beginning, you weenie, when he's the strongest. And that is just the weakest storyline. And then we get all of a sudden that Alfred is somehow a neurosurgeon that can mend Batman's back in the Batcave, which is totally not a sterile field. And
that's where it breaks from reality. No, I'm sorry, we shouldn't talk.
Yeah, I know. I'm
not yet, Lars.
And then we get stuck with Azrael, who nobody asked for and nobody likes and nobody cares about. But here's the reason. This book is the core at a huge generation of readers. This is their first Batman. Maybe people in their 30s now who grew up with this Batman. So it's an important Batman story for them, all three books. This is the Evergreen list. And so this is where I sold my soul, and I'm selling it right now because it's important, I think, as somebody who grew up with the Silver Age, I have gotten precious little of that Silver Age of Batman or that middle 68 to 74 sweet spot that I keep talking about. So I know how important it is to have those youthful stories always in print, because this is the first thing possibly a new reader to the collected edition format would want if he grew up, he or she grew up with that. It's important to keep these readers engaged. And so as much as I dislike this, and there's a lot that I could have put in this place, like Rise and Fall of the Batman or about 10 others that I've already seen, I have to say it always sells, and it always sells out. So people like it, and I have to acknowledge that people dig this storyline who grew up with it, and that it's an important book in their lives, and it should always be evergreen.
I have one thing to say. I'm not going to say anything about your list. I actually agree with a lot of points everybody's making. I'm really surprised and shocked and I'm kind of glad that Bard could not make it tonight. That there is no Harley Quinn omnibus on your list.
You
Like,
said
I-
Bat
Yeah.
Family though.
Or
Yeah.
Gotham City
That's a
City
stretch.
Sirens. I love
I
my
know.
mind 'cause I thought you
I
picked
felt
it.
that was.
No,
That's a
Harley's
stretch.
Bat Family. Harley's
I,
Bat
d-
Family.
I
I
mean,
just didn't think it was Bat
Batman.
Family enough because I would have put
yeah,
the
I
ladies
agree with
on there.
I agree with Maddie that I would have put Harley Quinn Volume 1 on there, but I don't feel like it's Bat adjacent enough for something like this.
No,
That was
I-
my reasoning.
No,
Yeah,
I
there's
we
no
would
bat in
disagree.
her name.
I interpreted Bat Family as being like, within the Batman franchise, and
Yeah.
Harley
I mean,
is
he's not asking her to come over for like Sunday grill, but
Harley's
part
in the
of
Bat
the
Family.
Bat mythos. Like
She'd be number 1 for me on a DC Evergreen.
we did
list.
that already.
Yeah, I know, and I wish I could go back and change
Wait,
my.
I don't remember him choosing Harley Quinn for that either.
I don't
No, I've been
Jess,
neglectful.
what's going on with you? Are you okay, buddy?
No, I'm having a stroke right now. As a matter of fact, talking about Nightfall this way.
He chose Nightfall over Harley Quinn.
Unnecessary evil. No.
All right,
Okay.
let's wrap it
Now
up. and then
let's
we can
take a
start.
look at the
fighting.
3 votes that none of us will be voting for. That's right. It's Omar's pick.
Is
You
Phoenix
are a bunch
on
of
this?
cowards. You guys are a bunch of
Oh,
Easter
except
cowards.
I
Where
thought
are we
Jess
voting
was
for?
going to pick the Golden Age. I thought.
All right.
Put it on.
Here we go. Batman Adventures. Of course, we need a book in there that gets people that watch the show to come and read. As a matter of fact, it's currently sold out right now. It
I have
came
it.
and went just like that. I didn't play it safe this time and put Capullo's in there because that's going to make it in the top 10. There's no way that it doesn't make it. But Batman Adventures is one that just came and went. It's phenomenal. It's an easy book to get into. They're episodic. It's got beautiful artwork. You have Kelly Puckett working with Paul Dini, Ty Templeton, and it's just a lot of fun. I love this book, and I'm honestly surprised nobody picked it. Now, the next choice for me, I came really close, but I honestly was going to be Batwoman, but I'm like, surely someone's going to pick Batwoman.
Thank you.
I'm honestly surprised only one person picked Batwoman, so I went with Batgirl because it's Gail Simone. It's the New 52. It's a great entry to the character. She's been Oracle for so many years, and she will always be Oracle to me. But there's a lot of people that got into the character through Gail Simone's run, and it's Gail Simone. She's one of these writers that just sells books, and I'm honestly surprised that this one hasn't gone out of print yet, considering her Wonder Woman came and went. So add it to the list. It's got great artwork. It's a fun story and easy to get into. Oh gosh. So I went against everything that I believe in.
Wow.
And I added Batman the Golden Age because I feel like with DC, they tend to do a really good job of reprinting a bunch of volume number 1s and leaving you wondering if they're ever going to do a volume 2 or 3. And whether it's their absolute editions or whether it's reprints of Nightfall, for example, we still don't have a volume 2 or 3. But I thought, okay, that might be, there's a lot of people that want to get into this character from the very beginning. Now, they can stick around for volumes 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's up to them. But I mean, this is where it all began. And I feel like I wanted to mix it up this time because I did put Spider-Man on the list and it got voted out, I think. But you've got the classics here. It's Bill Finger, Bob Kane, Gardner Fox. So yeah, I added it to the list to mix it up some because I didn't want to play it safe. I figured everybody else would come in with some. And honestly, there are some good choices. Peter, how many possible choices do we have to pick our top 10 from?
I believe we have 15 choices out of what could have been 24 distinct books because we had so many overlaps. So we will have to kick out 1/3 of all.
Let's kick out. Let's
Jess
kick out
Holbrook?
Nightfall.
No.
Well, let's go back to the start here with Brian's book. So now Brian has had his chance, and now we are all going to have our chance. But before we do, let's just remind everybody, because the chat is aflame with all the things that we left out. Flames on the side of their face. We could not have put a book on here if it was not already an omnibus. So there's, I think, only one Silver Age Batman omnibus right now. There are no Bronze Age Batman omnibuses. There are no 1980s Batman omnibuses other than the Neil Adams Omnibus. So we were very restricted. People were like, where's year one? To which I would answer, where's the year one omnibus? So if you want all of those omnibuses to exist so we can come back and have this chat again sometime, you need to vote on the DC Most Wanted Omnibus poll. It is open until next Wednesday. You can find the link here in the chat, or I'll put it in the comments after, or you could just probably search the whole internet for Tiger Eyes DC Most Wanted Omnibus poll and vote for all of those books that we could not put on this because they are not omnibuses. But
vote for the best Batman story, Wayne Family Adventures on Webtoon. Thank you very much.
New collection out this week.
Maddie.
It's the best one.
We will discuss that at a later time when it gets an omnibus.
That's good to know.
Are we doing a
Curious,
Webtoon Evergreen stream?
why no absolute editions? Well, I think you just answered your own question, Bruce, because we're focusing on omnis and not absolutes. I think Batman honestly does have enough. Maybe we should do a top 10 absolute
Wonder
edition
Woman.
Evergreen.
Wonder Woman.
That would be
We
awesome.
should just do,
Omar.
I think it's because we haven't done top 10 absolute evergreen overall, because that we
Yeah,
always like to
we haven't
start
done
at the
that.
top. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
that's a good
that's a
idea.
good idea. Thank you for that, Bruce. All right, so let's break Brian, make him cry, because I can't. I actually
Jess-
really
Jess almost made me cry in his backhanded compliment of Nightfall. So
I actually agree with what Jess said. It is a very important. It's a very important story that a lot of people want to go back to. Any kid that grew up in the 90s or you know,
Yes.
like, it will always go, how is Nightfall collected? Where is Nightfall? And you can point at that omnibus. That is that's one of the ones that I thought was safe. It makes
Omar,
sense.
Omar.
It does make sense, and I can find myself voting for it. I mean, here's why I don't like Nightfall personally. I don't so much have a problem with the story, like the Bane's strategy is let's wear Batman down and then I'll attack him. Actually makes some sense. I think the problem is that in an age where a lot of comic book art was bold and dynamic. I mean, this is when Todd McFarlane is going strong. This is when Jim Lee is going strong. A lot of people are going strong. And I think there's too much reliance in this on artists who were pretty great. You know, they're using an art style that's about 15, 20 years dated at this point. Don't get me wrong. I love Jim Aparo like anybody else, but it doesn't come across as fresh and new as exciting. It comes across as too retro. So I feel like there's a real disconnect there.
For me, it's not
Oh,
even
that's
the
all right.
art,
That's
it's
a hard
just-
disagree.
I think of Nightfall as it's where the sprawling crossover idea went wrong for DC. The Onslaught is where it went wrong for Marvel. At a point, it got too wide, too big, too many chapters, too many years,
Yeah, I
too
would
many
agree with
story
that
points,
too.
and
Yeah.
it's just not satisfying. I think if you're gonna like really hunker down for a couple weeks and you have all three of the Nightfall omnibuses stacked up and you got your favorite armchair, absolutely yes. But I just don't find it satisfying as a year one.
Yeah,
I'm not even here to say it's a good or bad story. It's just not satisfying enough for me to be an evergreen omnibus.
It is very drawn out, and the fact that it keeps changing creative teams so much means it can't really get in its groove. I mean, you know, if there's an issue you do enjoy, the next one's
But we're not talking about drawing out. I mean, that's part of keeping something evergreen is to keep that volume 1 evergreen, keep people wanting more. Like I honestly, I didn't find the ending that horrible of this. Now, Night Quest, on the other hand, I would not put on an evergreen list. Nightfall is like, to me, it's not a bad story. I was in high school when it came out. So
like I say, it is too drawn out, and if it just had the one creative team and stuck to that vision, I think that would have been stronger.
I still think it's a strong contender. That one.
Historically, you're right.
I would
also
pick
agree.
Nightfall for the worst spines of any Batman omnibus. I feel like they're
I agree.
they look terrible on a bookshelf.
Dude.
All
Is there
three
a
of them are
joke
not
on
in
his
line.
back?
It's too drawn out as how many characters they tried to cram on the spine of the Nightfall omnibus.
The first printing of the omnibus, reading it through just once, the spine pretty much broke for me, and it was not very well glued.
Yeah,
I
I
like
wouldn't,
the
I
design
wouldn't
of
know
the
because I
spine.
don't own it.
You should own it, Jess. But
No.
Nightfall was the first story that I chased in the back issues. I'm a 90s kid like you, Omar, right? So I
He's
mean,
more
I
of a
love this
70s
story.
guy.
And I also think that Nightfall was the springboard for DC to make sprawling epics. Like, you might not like how drawn out it is, but that gave them confidence to do Batman's No Man's Land 1 and 2 for them to do other stories in the future. So
let me get the super chat really quick. Volume 1s are a bad idea to be evergreen, especially when 2 and 3 are not. might be a long wait for those to be reprinted, possibly. Yes, but keep in mind, from a business perspective, they really don't care, right? They care about just selling that thing.
Well, that's
And
right.
from this perspective, we couldn't just put up volumes 1, 2, and 3 because we only.
Well, I mean, you did when we did the DC Evergreen list.
That was Peter effing Crisis that did that to me. Yeah, that's the way to get your attention. You did.
Well, because right now you can buy. They reprinted Volume 1, and
Yes,
are they going to reprint 2 and 3? I mean, I would assume they are, but I guess
DC, we don't know.
Yeah,
We still-
that's the thing.
We
I
still
mean,
don't have a Transmetropolitan
Oh,
3. We still
no,
don't
that
have.
one stabs me in the heart.
Yeah.
There's a lot that they have that they started a volume 1 with. Anyway, so Peter, I can't remember. Do we start voting now, or what do we do?
No, we're just kind of heading through. Let's hear if anybody has some thoughts on No Man's Land, especially since Brian is the only one who picked this very, very popular omnibus, and then
Thank
we will
you.
move on and get some more commentary.
I feel like this would be Christopher Nolan's 3 picks for Batman Evergreen Omnis.
That's so
Jake,
true.
Jake, that's awesome. That's true, dude. That's
Brian
true.
is a Christopher Nolan plant. Confirmed.
Yeah.
I love
feel
me
like-
some Nolan.
So I love like what all these books influence, because like the Christopher Nolan Batman movies were so influential to me growing up. But like I feel like there's a second step you can take into the Batman comic world where I think there's some good stories, you know.
Yeah, here's the challenge I've always had with No Man's Land. I think the idea of it is fantastic. I think it's bold. I think it's ambitious. And like, but again, we have the problem that with so many shifting creative teams, it does meander and it becomes less than the sum of its parts. Like the first opening story arc by Bob Gale is spectacular, is just fantastic. But then they quickly settled down to just noodling around in the city and different art and different story. And I just feel like it just doesn't come together. It's a brilliant idea, but in implementation, I think it always just leaves a lot to be desired.
There's a lot going for it. I love the idea that you have all these characters. It's Cassandra Cain's first appearance as Batgirl.
Yeah, that's true.
And I love the villains, like so many villains in this book. The problem with this book is that it starts off with no Batman. Batman has abandoned Gotham City, and Batman doesn't come back to Gotham City for a while in this book. I don't know, and I think I would rather have Batman, Jeff Loeb, and Tim Sell, where it has all those villains, right? And it has the Bat family. Well, I guess Robin with the third book, Dark City. I think I would rather have that Evergreen than No Man's Land. No, don't get me wrong. I like No Man's Land more than I do Nightfall. Whoa, that thunder. Anyway, those are my thoughts on that. Anybody say like hate No Man's Land, by the way? That's like should not be on
I've
the
never
list.
read it, and you guys all talk about it so often. So I actually read a little bit of Road to No Man's Land, and a little bit of No Man's Land, and I'm kind of like on the fence because I liked how what Lars was saying, that first Bob Gale story. Even though I don't know that era of DC really well, I knew exactly what was happening. I understood it completely, and then I kind of jumped around and picked some issues. And even though they're all different creative teams, it's just really easy to understand what's happening. And I enjoy when a line of comic books all is kind of telling a similar story without it being a direct crossover. So I read the one where Superman comes back and tries to make the power station work. And I was like, I get this. I don't need to know what's happening between Superman and Batman in JLA right now to understand what's going on in this comic book. So I was kind of expecting it to be more of a slog, but actually as a new Batman reader, as new as I could be a reader to anything, unless I'm on Maddie's show, then I'm the new reader. It actually did kind of make sense and resonated with me. I think it's a good, if you want to give somebody a really bleak Batman story, and some people like Batman for bleak stories, I think this is like maybe the best bleak Batman omnibus. Is that fair to say, Brian? Like,
I would say so until Zero Year. I felt like Zero Year picked up a few of the stitches from the story in the future.
Yeah. As someone says, it does hit its stride again when Rucka and Brubaker writes some of this too, doesn't he?
Yes.
You know, the two of them together and the stuff with Two-Face and whatnot, that does come together. But I always feel like you kind of have to wade through quite a bit of it to get at that good stuff. But that's just me.
Lars, I love how articulate you are. You remind me of someone who would be a judge on the Food Network. Who would be like, oh, The present.
Okay.
The food is delicious, but the presentation is.
Now
off.
he's gonna share some just like odd memory, like, well, actually, I was a judge in a not just 3 years.
Say it, Lars.
They have
quickly
anything at Wizard Magazine like that?
Let me quickly digress that I went to C2E2 and someone who shall not be named said, "Oh God, I thought you were going to be British." I'm like, "Why do you think I'm going to be British? Do I sound British?" They said, "No, you're just very well spoken." And I said, "It's a fairly damning indictment of the country in which we live. That's like, oh, well, you sound articulate. You cannot be an American." What? I was born on a horse farm.
Yeah, I hear that all the time for a Kentuckian and fellow Kentuckians who have thick accents. I was like, wait, but you speak so well.
Well, thank you. I do try.
Okay.
So, now let's tear apart some of these Domofx picks if you can, because
love
I
all
don't know if I
three.
can.
Tinian's
Rise and Fall
Batman is
made me cry too much.
Detective Comics is the best. There's nothing else that like
How many?
this book makes the Bat family shine. It
Yeah.
truly does. I remember crying about Clayface, and I never thought that I would get to that point. There are some moments in here that are truly human moments between the family members that are written so well. I'm so thankful that Tinian was chosen to write this group. It's so good.
Nobody mentions Tim Drake. What happened to him in the book? So that was touching.
Because we're talking about Clayface, the best.
I think the problem is when Tim, when that thing happens to Tim, you expect it's going to get undone.
I didn't. I was like, "What? What?"
I was
I
like,
loved
yeah.
it.
It's
like, what?
comic books.
No
It's
way.
comic book. But you're right. The Clayface storyline is exceptional. The Clayface storyline is terrific.
And it's mostly I think it's a great Batwoman book. It highlights her really well.
Very well.
She's like
I would
Bruce
say
Lee
better
Banner
than
in that
Batwoman.
story.
Yeah, if I can
Not
set myself
quite.
up for a later conversation, this is the best Batwoman omnibus. So those
Yeah.
of you who like Batwoman should vote for this one.
Whoa, what is happening?
I've heard
I
Omnidog say
don't
on-
think he speaks for everyone.
That
He
does,
just-
this doesn't have any J.H. Williams artwork at all.
Or any incomprehensible
but
writing.
it does have a finished story.
How does it?
And the lettering, it's readable.
I
Imagine
think
that.
I don't think the story's finished because so much so Tinian had to go write Batman to wrap
Well,
up
I
some
mean,
of the stories.
There
That's
has
called a
been-
victory lap, Omar.
Oh, that's what that's called, but Nightfall Volume 2 and 3 isn't. Got it. What is how many people put Gotham Central on their votes? Was it just 2 people? Their choices?
Just me?
There's no way that it's just Dom because I was like, surely there's going to be at
Well,
least 3 people that put
That to me
Gotham.
is on like the outskirts of what I would even consider a Bat family book. I would have put
Well,
that for a DC
yeah.
Evergreen omnibus.
What
But-
family would you put this in?
I feel like
It's got
I
a
mean,
bat symbol on it.
Answer the question. Answer the question. Come on, Jake. Stay on
they're not
top.
vigilantes. They're cops. It takes place in the world of Gotham.
It takes place in the world of who?
In the world of Gotham, but
Yeah, it's on the
It
goddamn title. I got that, but whose world is that?
Batman's barely in the book.
recursive.
He's more of like a presence than a character.
Yeah, he is not in this hardly.
I-
at all.
Yeah.
Well, you know who's in there?
That-
His family. At the
If you're looking,
Gotham
I think
Central
Gotham is a
Police
character on
Station.
its own. I think Gotham is a character,
Ooh.
and if you see it that way, then you can argue that Gotham Central is one of the best ways.
That's why I was thinking of
Gotham
putting
and therefore
Batman by
Batman. So I agree.
Snyder and Capullo in because it's like it fits in that realm too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Gotham Central. I just feel like, I don't know. I need a little bit more Batman in a Batman Evergreen book.
Yeah. I love it. I own this.
Don't finish that sentence, Lars. Because nothing you're about to say matters before the word but.
Also, the ending's a little abrupt. That's all I'm gonna say. I love
Because
it.
of
there
the
is that.
crisis.
But the-
I think
And Jeff
yeah.
Johns is like, hey, I want to use this guy as the Spectre. And Dan Didio was like, yeah, okay. And let's kill Nightwing. Go ahead,
Typical.
Lars.
I
Well,
just felt-
yeah, no,
Wait, what?
I
That
love Gotham.
happened?
Like I say, I do love Gotham Central. I do own it. But well, we kind of we returned the same problem. We were looking. I think we looked at it for the DC Evergreen, and again, it's like, is it a strong enough, title that should be on this? Because I mean, if someone's
That's
into
fair.
Batman, it's slightly hard to give it to them. And go, well, here's a bunch of cops. As good as it is, I mean, it's a fantastic cop drama. It really is. It's not tied to a movie or a TV show yet. I
Not
can see
even
how if you're,
Gotham?
I can see if you're DC, you
Wasn't there a
It- it-
show called Gotham?
Well,
That is
I think
it is
there-
not
so
even
about
near the
the
same
police?
level. as this. No,
Didn't it feature a bunch of police characters?
did it need to exist?
No,
I
I
don't
think
know.
what
What
happened.
happened-
I'm just saying.
It is pretty great, and maybe if we have 10 picks, maybe we can accommodate it this time in a way that we kind of didn't on the DC list. I will say, at the risk of getting eggs pelted at me, that Peter Tomasi and the Batman and Robin, it's not bad. It's never really done anything for me.
Oh,
I
you
tried
are
it. I've
You
tried
have
it.
no heart. You have no heart.
Yeah.
Lord.
Well, yeah. Well, I've been accused
no
of that.
heart,
many
no
times.
brain. You are in the Wizard of Oz.
Go-
You
go
are
back-
the Wizard
go
of
back
No
Oz.
to
heart, no
English.
brain. Boom.
I prefer
Absolutely
Superman
wrong.
and Super
Jay.
Sons over Batman and Robin.
I agree. To me, that Batman and Robin book, I just read Morrison for the first time. It was, New 52. I was so excited to dig in, and it just kind of felt like a very decent cover version of Grant Morrison writing Damien.
Yeah,
And
I think a lot of the books on this
I'll buy
list
that.
we enjoy them because they're bold, they're foundational. They're doing something exciting. Even this Detective Comics one, again, as we say, it reinvents Clayface. It does it sort of reinvents Batwoman. Does some really interesting things. And I always feel like the Batman and Robin by Tomasi is just, here is more Batman and Robin, which is fine.
I'd rather have Morrison too, which was my number 4 choice. But I was like,
I
they'll
beg
mock
to
me if I
differ.
pick a volume 2.
Yeah,
I think
this is where I think Batman and Robin are Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't really happen at all in Morrison's run. Not until I don't want to spoil what happens.
Like I say, I'm actually not implying that it's bad or anything like that. No. It's just I don't know. When I read it, I'm just like, it's okay.
Oh, okay. I need to
All right,
remind people
so-
again that we are all friends.
No, we're not.
And-
Not
That's
now.
correct,
Not now.
Except
No
for
holds barred.
finish. Except for Lars, I hate him right now for saying
Yeah.
that he would not vote for Batman and Robin. What the hell is wrong with you?
I,
Yeah.
I feel like my
Do you hate me
selection
because
is
I'm British?
infallible.
Is that why?
Because you're
That's fine.
You're British.
Look, I have
Okay.
a contractual obligation to only say nice things about Lars in the chat. I'm not allowed to say them on screen. That's how it works.
Hell?
Because he's so
But he
bad.
doesn't have that with me, so roast me for my choices. I'm ready.
I
Dom, we haven't
agree.
heard from you for a little while.
Oh, yeah,
Dom, I
Dom.
know you already love at least one of these books. What would you say in support or in a detraction of Kid Omnidog's picks?
Considering that Kid Omnidog has one of my 3 picks, I can't really say much that hasn't already been said about Tynan's Tech, but I do appreciate that you do have Snyder and Capullo there. I mean, that was a gateway for me to get into Batman. Like, that was my first Batman comic. I know for a lot of people it is, like, post 2010 anyways. And I feel like the Court of Owls storyline is not only so monumental, it's such a great jumping on point for anyone to get into, whether you have read a comic book that features Batman or not. And on top of that, I think Greg Capullo he's in my top 3 for sure for modern Batman artists. I couldn't think of it's hard naming anyone else post 2010 that's done Batman or that's drawn Batman better. But having that all in there, and then obviously with Death of the Family, and even Zero Year and how that was applied to the most recent Batman flick that came out a couple of years ago. So I think it should be on every single Evergreen list. I mean, there's a reason why they keep reprinting Court of Owls in every single format that they have imaginable.
Oh, I have it in like 5 formats.
Wow.
Everything but the one that comes with the mask.
So can
But-
anyone formulate an argument against Batman by Loeb and Salbing on list 4 of the 8 panelists have picked
That
it?
should be unassailable. Unassailable.
I kind of figured that would be one that everybody would pick, or most
Yeah.
people would
I'll be
pick.
for
so-
real. I haven't read it.
Oh,
No, this makes me feel
wait,
like
no,
it's
Maddie,
fake.
we've done old reader, new reader
We
on
did?
Haunted Night and Long Halloween.
Oh, but not
We haven't done
all
Dark City.
together though.
Yeah, we haven't done Dark City, but
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be
Maybe we
real
need
and say I put Nightfall instead of Loeb and Sale. So I continue to hate myself. Thank you.
Batman
okay,
has my
I'm a
favorite.
newer
Omnidog.
reader, chat. Okay, and by newer, I mean
Proves to
5
be
years.
just- If I recall from the first time, didn't Kid Omnidog go for 3 for 3 on his first appearance as well?
he did. he
No,
did.
everyone hated my Gail Simone Wonder Woman. pick.
Oh, that's right.
Not everybody. Not everybody. Most of us.
They
most of us.
preferred Wonder
Yeah,
Woman written by a
That's
man.
when
All
Omar
right,
showed
folks,
he was
I
picked
know
by
what's
women.
about to get
I
roasted,
am mad.
so let's just do this.
One of these things.
All right,
is
Crises.
not
Grayson, are you kidding me? I know he's pretty. I get it.
It's better than
That
all the other
book
books
is
you picked.
awful. That book is okay.
Awful.
What? Not being any like Bat family related. He's a super spy. He's a super sexy super spy. He's not even Nightwing in this.
But we have so few Nightwing omnibuses to choose from, aren't there? There's one actual Nightwing one, a compendium.
There's just one Nightwing.
There's only two.
And
I
it's
know
not
you
Maybe
that
that's
good.
more so saying something about the character than it is the quality of the thing in this book.
Yeah, I read it beginning to end. Yes, I totally respect that it was picked, Peter, but it doesn't. It barely feels like a Bat book at all. I mean, if you're a Nightwing fan, I'm not sure I would give this to them and go, "Here's a Nightwing book for you." They're like, "What are you talking about? This is some super spy."
It's
And
even
like I
less
said,
Batman
it's
than
super
Gotham
sexy.
Central.
It might be the sexiest book we have on this entire
Well,
thing.
isn't this the one where they're in flagrante delicto and like she screams out his nickname or something like that? It's yeah.
Wow, Lars, your memory. Yes.
His Latin.
Ow.
It's
Don't know
not
how
a
to
thing
read
you can
Latin.
easily forget. Okay.
Stop, Peter.
I like two of
You
your
were
three
tired
choices.
of winning? Were you tired of winning? Oh my God.
Mikhail
I
Jen
know your
just
three
pretty
choices
well.
are
In
great. all honesty, I went through my whole. I keep a list of every comic book I've read since 2017 to present and rated all with reviews. And I sorted by what is the highest rated series that had a Bat character in it, and it was Grayson. So I put it on there. But I understand your concerns, and I will take them into account in the future. Okay. Lars, here's
Okay.
I have a complicated relationship with the Hush Saga.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you had a
You're going to say
complicated-
Lars.
I thought, yeah, I know. Yeah, I thought you were going to say you had a complicated relationship with me.
No, my relationship with Lars is very simple. My complicated
He cooks you
relationship
clean. Yeah.
Just
with the Hush Saga.
story
So
of Hush.
I'm from the 90s. It came from
Yes.
the 90s. I love Jim Lee. This is, in fact, fun fact, it is the only Batman collected edition I own, is the Hush
Oh, okay.
Saga. I have a lot of things in singles, and I loved it at the time. I remember sitting in my attic back when I first got back into comics and just like reading it physically and loving it. I went back and read it, and it's like a little up and down. You can see how Jim Lee's style has changed since the 90s, and the coloring is a little bit wan compared to how he was colored back in the 90s. But if we're gonna play the what would you hand to a first time reader game on this stream, which we often play, and I guess I raise my hand this time, I do think of every book on the stream, this is the one I would hand to them. It's modern. It still feels very now, even though it's almost 20 years old. It has all of the Batman characters you're going to recognize, but because Hush is not as overexposed in media, because he hasn't been in movies and stuff, even though he's been in the cartoon movies, it still can shock you a little bit. I think a lot of these other books, because the beats have been so played in other comics, it's kind of like, oh yeah, okay, I know what's going to happen here. There's an earthquake, Two-Face, whatever. This one's surprising. So it has everything factor, it has the modern factor, and it has the surprise factor. So even though it's not my favorite story on here, it could be the best pick that any of the 8 of us made.
Well, are you talking about Hush
book
or
are
the
you
Hush
talking about?
Omnibus?
Well, I know the Hush Omnibus also has Heart of Hush and other stuff in it, but the
I
core
feel
of
like
it.
better.
That's
Yeah.
a
Heart
great
of Hush
story
is
by
really
Dini.
good. Heart of Hush is pretty terrific from what
I
I
just-
read.
Heart of Hush
Yeah.
is amazing.
Okay.
Well,
But shouldn't you put the Paul Dini omnibus instead? I feel like
Well,
Hush.
here's the-
would
well,
be
that's
there.
what
Paul
it
Dini's
is.
omnibus doesn't have
But-
the Jim Lee art though.
This
That's
has
the
some
thing.
really
it's got some
neat.
blend though.
I feel like Jim Lee's art seals the deal. On
Yes.
This has
Now
the
let's
stuff that's not
just-
Paul Dini is really weak in this omnibus.
Hey,
Yeah, I'd
leave
rather have the
Hush
Paul
alone.
Dini
hold on.
omnibus than the.
Some people like it.
Omar, let's for Hush, let's just hold on 1 second. We just say, oh, it's drawn by Jim Lee. But at the time, like you, Crisis, I was picking these up in singles. And the fact that Jim Lee was drawing Batman, his first DC work, was such a huge deal.
It's like,
So at the time, it was like, yeah, exactly like that. So right now we take it for granted. Oh, Jim Lee drew it. Yeah, solid story. But at the time, this was like the biggest thing in comics. And I always have a special place for this story in my heart. So,
And they try to duplicate the formula with Superman for tomorrow. And it
yes. Yep.
because
But
it wasn't a good-
Azarello, I
it
didn't
wasn't
like
a good
that story. Yeah, I
And
didn't like that
honestly,
story.
if you love those kind of go hand in hand. I can't believe I'm actually agreeing with Lars, but Batman by Loeb and Cell and Batman Hush Saga actually kind of almost go hand in hand.
Yes.
Because Loeb's
Yeah.
introduction of that character is just awesome.
Yep.
I'm very biased about this omnibus because I happen to like Hush Returns. I'm one of the 5 people that like it. Heart of Hush is
like it.
amazing.
I like it.
Heart of Hush is a
It is.
masterpiece.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
That story
Yeah.
is, which is also in here. So a
But-
third of this omnibus is complete garbage, according
Yeah.
to most people.
100%.
Not
How-
me. I actually
however,
liked it.
Oh my god.
Regards Heart of Hush, real quick. To go from Jim Lee's art to Dustin Nugent's art is
yeah,
like
yeah,
such
yeah.
a mind, like your brain
It's a
has to
mind warfare.
recalibrate.
It is,
So-
but they are different stories that at least stick to the
Mhm.
different arts. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Actually, the way the story does actually hold together is kind of evidenced by the way, of course, and I won't spoil it, but for the animated version of this, they actually change Hush's identity, and you're
Yeah,
like,
that was so cheesy.
and
dude.
there, it's completely nonsensical.
Yes,
You
I
know,
wanted them
it's
to
like-
do like they did year one, where they went like page for page and put it on the screen.
Bizarre. Whereas here,
Standing ovation.
Year
right
two
there.
is
Year two
awful,
overhated.
by the
Thank you
way.
for that.
here
LOL.
you can see some of the twists coming, but they at least make sense. They at least make sense and they work.
Okay.
Lars, you should get
Lars
a
is also
you should get a
the
question
only
mark
person-
tattooed on your forehead.
I actually really like Batman Morrison Volume 1.
Okay, here we go.
I think
That's
that
a good
is
story.
it's got good artwork, Andy Kubert. It's got actually a really I dug that story, like the introduction of Damien. I actually like what was the clown, the prose book that threw
Yeah.
everybody off. People were so pissed. I didn't ask for this book to be in my comic book.
Oh yeah, because it's text. Yeah.
Dude,
But right
What-
before RIP, I think is when it's strongest. I think RIP is just not my favorite Batman story. I don't know, Lars. I mean, if I had to say one had to go, it might be the Morrison book, though.
I appreciate you for
You
putting-
don't have to get rid of any of them.
but you have to.
But here the thing with Morrison is not always completely successful at what they do, but always interesting. And I think this is interesting. And I think sometimes I feel like the objections to some of this book come from people who just want, no surprise Batman. They want just Batman to go in and punch supervillains and that's it. Well, if that's what you want, fine. You won't be denied it. But if you want something more, engaging than that,
Cerebral.
more thoughtful. And as you say,
There you
it
go.
actually is
Yes,
more
Tim
accessible than not
Leroy.
because it
Yes.
starts Damian Wayne's character. I know that there was Son of the Demon, but Damian really gets his start here, and I think that draws you in. And then the island murder mystery with all the international Batman is sufficiently. It's strange, it's engaging, and it's a thoughtful, engaging book.
Would you say
I
out of
like
all of-
Volume 2 better.
out of all of these
Sure,
choices, is it the smartest written Batman? Lars?
It's
I mean, that's a difficult criteria to say.
I'm
because,
honestly
I mean,
surprised you didn't put Paul Dini's Batman
It's
in
smarter than Hush.
Well, yeah, I
agreed. I agree with you, Jake.
no, I think it is smarter than. Well, okay. The problem with Morrison is that Morrison is so smart. Occasionally, you get
Yes,
difficult to
he
follow.
outsmarts himself. Yeah.
Yes, exactly right.
You know
That
what would
book
help
is-
this book, Lars, is if they did Black Case Book Evergreen. Because that's the Black Case book has the stories where he pulls a lot of his inspiration from and helps inform this run, Batman of Zur-En-Arrh. That's the book that should be evergreen.
I hear
So
you, although I
people-
honestly believe the mind fills in the blanks because, yes, I actually read the Black Case book and I thought that was very interesting. But when this was coming out, it's like I didn't actually know the stories behind the kind of island of the international Batman and things like that. But it's like, okay, there's some international Batman and here's what they're like. I think it is easier to follow than people like to think.
So Lars getting to talk in his own defense a lot, which is not usually our model.
Yeah, what's going on here, Lars?
Brian's been trying to break in a couple times. Let's hear from
right,
Brian.
start yelling over him.
Thank you, Crisis. Batman by Morrison. I collected all the trades when I was in my 20s, and I hated it. But I actually enjoy it now. I get the complexity and the layering and what he was going for. Anyone who's listening to the stream and says, you know what, I want to read that for the first time, just be ready. It's like nothing you've ever read. Just take the story for what it is. Don't have an expectation, because if you do, you're going to hate that book. So
one thing I like about that,
it starts off normal, and then it slaps you across the face for daring to
I
think
will
that
say
Grant Morrison can write something normal.
I liked in that book that they didn't include the Ra's al Ghul the Return of Ra's al Ghul story, but they did a fill-in page.
Yeah.
So when I was reading it for the first time, I was able to get context on so they didn't just have a weird gap like DC's done in other Omnis. So I wish they do that more, like a little fill-in page.
We're gonna come back to Lars. And
Well, Dom, did you have something you wanted to throw in?
The only thing I was going to say, because apparently there's something going on with I hate how my mic is just all of a sudden not working today.
It's
But-
fine.
You sound better right now.
Yeah, you
you
sound
sound
better.
Sound pretty good.
I mean,
Good.
being a
Good.
child of Zeus, your voice is just naturally.
Oh,
You
no,
should-
that's fair enough.
Somebody turned down Lars's mic.
Yeah, all the way.
saying that for years.
I can hear way too much of him.
Yeah,
If
I
Rob
guess that's my
Liefeld
only
was here,
chance-
he would mute Lars.
Go ahead,
Rob
Dom.
Liefeld would mute Lars.
Yeah,
No,
Dom.
it's all good. The only thing I was just gonna say was like if I were to give like a newbie a Batman comic, it would be like one of the books would be Hush, but it wouldn't be an omnibus format. Now, granted, if I had a top 10, if it was just my list, Morrison Batman Volume 1 would be on that list. I just don't know if I'd give it to a new person to read.
There you go.
That was
There you go.
perfectly put. I feel the same way.
Well said. Yes.
I was really hoping you'd say the only thing I want to say is F Lars. He's wrong.
I'm not
His
that
choice
mean,
is
I don't
fucked.
think.
I think actually it does appeal to, there's certain types of newbies I think it would appeal to just fine. I mean, there's tons of friends I have that if they're not into comics, I could give them.
Where are you guys picking up
Well,
friends?
I would
Friends
know
of
someone
friends.
else as their first
You
couple.
guys,
lie.
it's
The
okay.
straw man that
You don't
we
have
make
to
up.
lie. You don't have friends.
I
Tons
love
of friends.
Like Grant Morrison Batman is my second favorite Batman run. I just don't know if I would give it to
Yeah.
not someone who's not a veteran. That's all.
They need a little
Well,
grading. in
but
Batman.
again, if we're sort of replicating DC's thought process, you can see how they want to promote this one.
I think you
Out of
need to
everyone
know a
on
lot
this
of
panel.
Batman to
I'm
get into
I'm
Morrison's.
I agree with Omnidog.
No, I politely disagree with that. I
Politely.
read it missing
Politely.
much of the
It's
background.
very Norwegian
context,
of
and
you,
was just
Lars.
fine.
Politely.
How the
Why is
British
it when
fans
you
like
interrupt me,
That
Lars?
explains everything.
Out of everyone on the panel right now, Maddie has the most experience with bringing new readers to stories. Maddie, do you have any opinions on, we're playing this new reader straw man, which we love to do on the show. You are the most experienced host on this channel with new readers. Do you have any input on these books?
On those in particular, those I wouldn't bring to people, but I would bring parts of the stories to people.
Parts of the stories.
I think probably Josh Greathouse had a good point about giving the people an omnibus. Some of these omnibuses on their entirety are not really new reader friendly, but some of the stories within them are. I would argue that my pick of Super Sons is entirely new reader friendly.
Let's get to Maddie. Let's
do it, baby.
I like Damian way more in Super Sons than I did in Volume 1 of Morrison Batman. Like as a character, I enjoyed him much more in Super Sons.
Yeah, he's written by Tomasi. Yeah.
Super Sons is the most fun book that anybody's presented tonight, and I'm sorry I didn't think of it myself because it is nothing but fun and enjoyable from start to finish. It is such a great book.
I don't need any more versions of the omnibus though. 3 is enough.
No,
I think it's gotten
out now
progressively
from-
slightly worse. Like they keep putting stories that are more and more marginal into it, which I'm a completist, so I appreciate that. But the original omnibus version was like greatest hits, no weak songs. It's like when you get the Fleetwood Mac greatest hits, and you're like landslide, go your own way, dreams. This is great, but then you get like the 25 song version of Fleetwood Mac's greatest hits, and you're like, I didn't need a couple.
Hard
of these
agree.
songs.
I absolutely agree.
Are we going to do a
I
Fleetwood
love
Mac
Fleetwood
Evergreen
Mac.
stream?
Fleetwood Mac Evergreen. Let's go.
Yes, call me for that one.
I actually think these are 3 strong contenders. You already know I'm voting for Batman, Snyder, and Capullo. I actually think bringing Super Sons in there is a great idea just because of the chemistry between the two characters and then seeing it from their father's perspective. I think it's good. And it introduces you to the expanded DC universe too. It's not just Batman, but it's Superman and a couple of other characters. I really like Batman and Robin. But if push comes to shove, if one has to go, it would be Batman and Robin. And I think it has some really good heartbreaking issues in there, especially with, well, never mind. That's a spoiler. Something that happens in the run. And it's got some great artwork, and both Tomasi and Gleason have been working together for such a long time. But yeah, those are some solid choices.
I bought the script to the silent issue from Peter Tomasi at New York Comic Con like 7 years ago. I still have it in the envelope. It's the whole script, and it's just so very nice.
Anybody got anything negative? Anybody got anything no to Super Sons?
Nope. Everyone thinks that I'm great and my picks are great.
Is just that they keep printing new editions of these, and I know that they'll print a new one with
the one with
Sons
Sinestro
included.
Kid. Yeah.
You know that DC will do it,
And
Omar.
they got to add in Kid Omnidog too. To the
Oh
Super
my
Sons.
God! Stop calling yourself that. What is
Actually,
happening?
I like it. I like it.
Well,
What?
okay.
I think it's true.
You want to be Kid Omnidog Jr.? Go ahead and change your name.
No,
Jake,
no.
it's
Kid
the
Omnidog
crowbar.
is awesome, dude.
What you need to do, Jake, is copyright the name Omnidog. So
Yes, yes.
He has to use it. He has to pay you.
Yes.
I'm down. That'd be a funny prank. I'd spend the money for it.
Oh, so funny.
Wait, hold on. Let me get my little green X-Men stuff.
So
in.
no one has anything negative to say about Super Sons.
not negative, but
There he is.
Here I
There
am.
he is. But
Go ahead.
I think Super Sons is pretty great. If I were inclined to vote against it, it's only because I have to vote against something. And the other thing is, I'm not sure it's the best showcase for the Batman franchise. I mean, half of it is, Superboy.
He brings out the best in
I would
Damian.
almost say
Yeah,
he's
I
a little.
know.
It's a
I'm
little
not a
more
fan
than
of the
half
art.
for Superman.
Well,
Like it's spun out of Superman by Rebirth Tomasi. So I feel like it's like 55% Superman.
Yeah, I might prefer something that keeps the spotlight on the Batman characters, but that's
Yeah,
my
we
name.
do. This isn't
Oh, you
even
mean
the
like
version
Gotham
of
Central?
Superboy that we have now. So like,
We don't
Or-
talk about that one.
spoilers.
yeah, Tom, that's a good
Or
point. It
Grayson.
kinda, like almost feels like this moment passed, like because they
It did.
aged up. John, it's not that like readers can't
Yeah.
figure out that he's younger here. I'm not trying to play that game, but it almost just felt like this beautiful crystalline moment in time that now we just can't even enjoy anymore. But I don't know if that's a reason to
That's
vote
where I
against
like
it.
to live personally.
Yeah, that's
is
where I
in
just want to
that
go and live all the
moment.
time.
They're
Okay.
they're getting back some of that youthfulness right now, but that's where I like to live, which is the Super Sons era.
Yeah. So I'm coming out strong on this Omnidog. Now, I love Batwoman. She's one of my favorite all-time characters. I think the original Greg Rucka and J.H. Williams Batwoman elegy is one of the best comics that's been released of the past 25 years. The actual New 52 run of it is just not that good.
Yeah.
I remember reading it on my channel with Fariha for kind of our version of Old Reader, New Reader, which was just like our reading club. And she was like, what is the point of this? Why are we reading this story? Fariha, very, very experienced comic book reader, being like, I don't even understand what order to read this page in. Why is there red lettering on yellow backgrounds? Like, it just gets more and more incomprehensible as it goes. And I love J.H. Williams. I have this elegy in hardcover. I have this all in trade paperback. I read all of his other series. Somebody in the comments was mentioning his book Echo Lands. I stan, okay? It was not a word I like to use.
Wow.
J.H. Williams. But this is not good. It's not good.
Yeah.
The lettering, see how bad the lettering is on the cover? That's how bad the lettering is inside too, but in a completely different way. I think it is unreadable. Unreadable.
Wow.
I would.
What I would say about Nightfall.
And
For different
yeah.
reasons.
and people say I'm the harsh one.
I'm going to let the negative people talk right now. The people with hate in their heart. Lars, what do you have to say about Batman?
I would quickly just basically echo what Peter said. I think the original elegy story is fantastic. I own the deluxe
Found in this omnibus, by the way.
Well,
Go ahead.
yes, I know. But then, unfortunately, as Peter says, everything else follows. The original elegy story is really bold, really daring, and there I think Dwayne is great. But as a writer, J.H. Williams is a pretty great artist.
Yeah.
It just you can tell when Greg Rucka's not in the room. We'll just put it that way.
I want that on the book.
I know. I agree with Peter. I think it's a gangbusters opening storyline, and then everything else is extremely middling.
Yeah, Batwoman falls into the same category with me and the Hush Omni, where again you have Hush, like that's cool, you can read that, but it's the other stuff that's weighed onto it that I have iffy feelings about. And that's exactly how I feel about the Batwoman Omni. And I love Elegy. Like, it's one of my favorite stories of all time.
Mhm.
It's just that I would keep Elegy and not mix it in with everything else.
Ooh,
Well,
that'd be a good absolute. Like, I'd rather have an elegy absolute than.
All right.
I would too.
Jake, do you also have a problem with Batwoman, Jake?
I think if we only have 10 spots for Bat family books, you get more bang for your buck with Rise and Fall of the Batman.
Exactly.
That's your choice.
That one's
Okay.
that was
I
basically a
agree.
Batwoman book and it's bulletproof.
Brian, what about you?
I didn't read Batwoman, but like Jake said, my major introduction to her was in the Rise and Fall of the Batman,
Okay.
the Tynion run. So if you want some really good Kate Kane, I would read that. She's like Batman's lieutenant, his second in charge, and you learn a lot about her and also their relationship. So I would put that in this place.
Okay.
And one quick question about Volume 1 on Capullo and Snyder. I haven't gotten to the end. Does Bunny Ear show up in that, or is that number 2?
That's
number 2.
the beginning of Volume 2.
Okay, thank you.
Maddie, what about you? Batwoman. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I mostly agree. I enjoyed this story, but I do agree that my favorite parts of Batwoman have been in other stories, and I do agree with that. I've enjoyed a lot more Detective Comics than I did in that run.
Okay. Jess.
I agree with everybody else.
I was going to say I'm with you, my friend. I'm actually one for I'm actually one for diversity because I like a little women in here mixed up with some Batman, and I can't believe all these haters.
I can't believe you didn't.
No, the Batwoman.
Oh, women.
Yeah, but there's no clay monster diversity in Batwoman.
I like readable lettering and unreadable lettering, both on the greatest omnibus list together.
Guys,
That's
this has some wonderful artwork. Like sometimes this is a medium where well, I mean, this is a medium where half of the story is driven by the artwork. I've read a lot of shitty stories because I've loved the artwork. I know for a damn
give me a
fact
no
so
words
has
version.
Peter,
Give me the nuff said
because
silent
he
version.
loves Wildstorm. So I know for a fact he's read a lot of shitty stories because of the great artwork.
I don't take anything Peter says seriously because he is not a Tom King fan. He hates Tom King, and I have zero regard for Peter now.
Sometimes you gotta, okay? The man knows what he did, okay? And we all know.
I want to interject. Omar, did you call Jess my friend like 2 minutes ago?
Yeah, I did.
Wow.
Wait,
I needed an alliance. I needed an alliance. How it's made.
Can you put in the private chat what we're talking about? I don't know what he did.
He called you a friend.
He killed my husband, Jess.
He said my friend.
How soon you forget?
Okay.
It's comics. He'll be back in a year. I think he's back now.
He's back now, but
I thought there was some hashtag thing going on.
Right.
No. He just killed Roy Harper, and I'm still upset about it.
Okay, yeah, I do.
Go ahead and put my 3 choices.
So I want to say that I'm proud of you, Omar, for putting
I make people proud.
Golden Age number
proud.
1 on there.
So
I love it. I actually truly love it. I've read many issues in it. I think that if somebody's in the comic book store or reading Batman or wherever they are, and they're like, I love all this stuff, but like, how did this all get started? The foundations of Superman or of superhero comics, first is Superman as the first superhero, and then it's Batman in this book. And I mean, it's closing in on 100 years old, and I still think it's fun to read. I still think it's ridiculous. I still can hear the Batman voice when he talks. I think it's a hard read. I read one of the issues I read this week, I think took me like 40 minutes to read. That just means it's value, though. And just like the sheer depravity of early Joker actually is so much better than Silver Age and Bronze Age Joker. People don't know. And then they also called him, I forget the exact words they used, but he's like the sad clown of crime, or like he's not just funny, like they make him out to be tragic. I think that people, even who don't like Golden Age comics and they're like, they're too long, they're too boring, everybody should sit down and read Detective Comics 27 cover to cover. They should read Batman 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cover to cover. And that's what's in here. I think my only hesitation in picking it was that I almost wanted to pick volume 2 because there's more of the Batman title, which has more stories in it. Because Detective Comics only had Batman as a lead story. But I love this pick. I will be voting in support of this. And if you've never read it before, respect the medium that we all love and go read some Golden Age Batman.
I read it and I sold it.
I'm not the biggest fan of this. It took me a long time to read it.
Omar, after I just
hold on. This is very much like Jess and his whole coming out of hating Nightfall. I don't hate it, but I also respect the past, and I feel like when it comes to comics and when you're spending this kind of money on Omnis, there's certainly a percentage of people that want everything from the beginning. And people, I know for a fact, just from some of my viewers, that still haven't read their Spider-Man Omnis because they can't find volume 1 or 2 or whatever's out of print at the time, because they're waiting for that volume 1 to come back to print. So I think that's why I was thinking outside the box this time around and not going, with my favorites. Although Batman Adventures is definitely one of my favorites. But I think Golden Age definitely, like, if this is a true evergreen list, then I think that Golden Age era needs representation. That's why I went.
Yeah,
with
I think for many people, it's just a reach too far, and to go, well, spend 60 or 70 books on a book you just won't like. It is historic, I grant you, but a lot of yes, Peter, I think you got behind the genius behind it in a way, but a lot of people are just going to go, nope.
Yeah, a lot.
Oh, like a lot of people will put it on their shelf and go, well, I own it.
Yeah, I own it. Yeah, I bought it too.
Well, possibly, but I don't think it should be we should be putting out things just for the completists and no one else.
Lars, you're putting Hush Saga on there.
Well,
they came out with they came out with a deluxe edition of like some of the quintessential Detective Comics issues when Detective Comics went
out. We're talking about Omnis.
But what I'm saying is that's all I needed. I don't need a full Omni of Golden Age Batman. I feel like give me like 5 of the best stories. I did my homework, I tipped my cap to the start, but now I don't need 10 volumes of Golden Age Batman that like doesn't get good for a few decades.
Okay.
I will say, when I stopped choosing Batgirl, I didn't even think that was an option.
Right. I love that cover for Batgirl. That is so engaging. You could just give that to a new reader and be like, go.
I think Batgirl is very approachable for new
Batman
readers.
Golden
and that was my Batgirl, so I didn't have the experience of Oracle until later. And so for me, New 52 Batgirl, Rebirth Batgirl was my Batgirl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Gail Simone did a fantastic job with her.
She did. I mean, Gail is always good. It's a bit of a shame she didn't quite get to write the Batgirl she wanted, because she has admitted in interviews that DC editorial interference was quite high at this stage, and it got more grim than she would have preferred. But no, she's Gail Simone. She's pretty terrific.
Yeah.
I will say, Omar,
yes, sir.
I love that you included the Batman Adventures Omnibus, if only to get some Paul Dini Batman thrown into here, because it was
the only way I could get Batman Year 2 into the Omnibus pick, because as everybody knows, Mask of the Phantasm is based on Batman Year 2, and the adaptation is in this omnibus. But do go on.
You know what?
Yeah,
I see that.
The main reason to why I didn't, I thought about putting the Paul Dini Omni, but because of certain issues that aren't collected in there, I just left it out because, again, completionism and my Excel sheet. But I just appreciate that you said, hey, we got some Batman animated series inspiration by Paul Dini somewhere on this list, and you managed to put it here. So bravo. I hope it's back in print at some point.
Yeah, it's out of print right now, which is crazy.
Bravo. Whoa, intern.
That's a standing ovation.
Wait, did you have to say that?
Lathering the boss up tonight. Oof.
I'm not
Wait, is that what I'm supposed to do to Jess? Jess, I love your choices.
No. I'm not. Send me a video that works.
Okay. What doesn't work on this list for you, Brian?
Sincerely, Omar, I like the list. I think Batman Golden Age Volume 1 was a bold choice, starting all the way from the beginning, but I dig it. And I'm a Batman the Animated Series connoisseur. And like I said, that Gail Simone cover and the story is just so inviting and cool. I dig your list. I dig it.
Okay. I wouldn't read Golden Age Batman. I'll be the other voice. I wouldn't read it.
I concur with that.
I would read Golden Age Wonder Woman, but that's because I
great.
It's coming.
Those are great.
But I if they put that in front of me, I'd be like, I can't. This is, you know me. If it's too wordy and it's not necessary, it is a hard pass.
Would you recommend it to new readers?
Oh,
who aren't you?
No.
Would you recommend it
Not-
to
not
a
at my-
fellow collector?
I would
that-
say people my age, right? If I'm thinking people like in my demographic,
Mhm.
I could not recommend that to them.
What about the demographic of omnibus collectors? Of
That's all you
collectors,
guys.
right?
I-
Wait a minute.
I made
got-
my list for
I bought
omnibus
each of
readers.
these.
What about the demographic of
anthropomorphic
New
dogs who are
Zealanders?
broadcasting from their basement right now?
How about
Big shirt. Come
Peter
on, your
from
shelf.
Omar's
It'll look
mom's
so good on your
basement.
shelf.
All right,
How about
folks, it is now time to begin to
Let's do it.
register.
Do we?
vote.
Do we? Wait a minute. Do we know what book appeared the most? Like,
Loban's Sale appeared 4 times.
Of course it
Yeah.
did.
and then what? It was Snyder and Capullo too. Or?
Rise and Fall appears 3 times, and
Okay.
Snyder and Capullo appears 3 times.
Okay.
First chat I've seen where year 2 got more love than year 1.
Love
All
it.
right, so this is the way
Damn right,
for my
Aria.
sanity. This is the way we're going to do it. We're going to go person by person, even though some people have repeats of other people's books. We're just going to vote when it's on there the first time around, and then I'm going to go through us in alphabetical order to ask what your votes are, and then I'll show all the votes at the end, so there's no secret squirrely stuff, and everybody can see what came out at the top. So we're on Brian's slide right
Batman
now.
by Neil Adams.
I feel like
Batman
that
by
was-
Loeb and Thale has been already picked by Brian, Jake, Crisis, and Lars. Dom, are you a yes or a no?
Loeb and Cell, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Maddie, are you a yes or a no?
I'll say yes because I've out of these 3, that's what I've read from.
We're doing old reader, new reader, Nightfall in June, so I can't
Yeah.
wait.
Oh boy.
I'd
Omni
be
Dog,
happy
yes
to
or
join
no on
Maddie.
Loeb and Sale?
Throwing that out there.
Omni Dog,
Sorry.
yes or no
Yes
on
or no?
Loeb and Sale?
Yes.
Yes.
Omar, yes or no on Loeb and Sale?
You don't need my vote, but hell yes. Yes,
So
absolutely.
that is
needs to be in
8
there.
out of 8 of the panel.
Woo!
So that is N. Next, we come to Batman Nightfall, picked by
Nightfall,
Brian and
Nightfall,
Omni Dog.
Nightfall.
Dom, yes or no on Nightfall?
No.
Jake, yes or no on Nightfall?
No.
I am a no on Nightfall. Lars, yes or no on Nightfall?
God Almighty. I'm gonna override my instincts and vote yes.
Yes.
Ooh,
Yes, Lars.
Getting
Goodwill.
interesting. Maddie, a critical vote. Yes or no on Nightfall?
I feel like it's unfair for me to say yes or no, but I feel like I have to say no, dude. I'll speak for the chat. It's a no.
Okay. You can, I mean,
Love
you're
it.
voting personally, partly on the pitches that everybody gave for and against. So even
I
if
would
you haven't
say
read
no,
it.
though. Yeah, I
Okay.
would say no.
And Omar.
Yes, on Nightfall.
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
well that could come back. That got 4 yeses, so it could happen later for us. All right, No Man's Land. Brian is the only one who put it on the poll. Dom, yes or no?
Yes.
My man.
Jake, yes or no?
No.
Ah,
Have you read it, Jake? Have you read it?
I couldn't get through Road to No Man's Land, and then the fact that there was 2 more Omnis on my shelf, like I got overwhelmed.
All right, mute him. Mute Jake. Okay.
Honestly,
Yes, Brian, let the hate seep.
I'm so-
let it
Which is
flow
kind of
through
unfortunate.
you.
I don't think you
Yeah.
have to read Road to No Man's Land, but yeah, I can see why you started there.
I'm so torn on it, and we're not doing maybes tonight. You got to go yes or no. I don't have the brain to track 8 people's maybes across 15 books. I'm gonna vote yes. Lars.
My man.
Oh God, I'm gonna. Oh God, I'm
Come
gonna
on,
vote
Lars.
no. No,
What?
Maddie.
This is where I get attacked again. I'm gonna say no.
Oh boy.
I'm sorry. Brian.
Omni Dog.
You've been very nice.
No.
Omar.
Man, I was a yes, but I don't think it
Yes.
matters now. I like
It
that.
might
story.
matter. You devote your heart, my friend.
Just vote.
Yeah.
All right,
a yes
that's
for me.
another
You're a man of good taste, Omar. That's why we get
another
along.
4 out of
like
8.
that.
We
I
might
like
have to
your
come back and do
mix.
some tiebreakers.
Brian,
All
he
right,
doesn't
folks.
need another intern. Just calm down there.
Oh, okay, now we're on Dom of X, the intern, the project manager, the legend. He picked 3 books, including Rise and Fall of Batman, which 3 of us have picked. Brian, are you a yes or a no?
Yes.
Lars, are you a yes or a no?
wait, this is detective now.
Yeah.
Yes,
Batman
Rise and
Rise.
Fall of the Batman.
Yes.
Maddie, yes or no?
Hard. Yes.
Maddie's hard. You heard it here first. Omni Dog, yes or no?
Don't
Even
vote that.
harder. Yes.
And Omar, yes or no?
I'm a soft yes.
Well, even though
He's always a sucker.
That's what
even though
we've
Omar
heard
couldn't get it,
a
it
lot
couldn't
about.
be hard
Yeah.
for us with Tiny.
Whoa.
That is another 8 out of 8 book, folks. So that is an absolute winner.
Oh, I
We
could have been the
move-
one. I could
We
have
move
said
on to
no.
Batman and Robin by Tomasi and Gleason, picked by 2, Dom and Maddie. Brian, yes or no?
No.
Ooh, Jake, yes or no?
Oh, I'm torn because I want to give a yes to one of them. I'll say no to Batman and Robin.
I
Attaboy.
am a no. Lars, yes or no?
I am a no.
Omnidog, yes or no?
Yes.
Omar, yes or no?
Oh man. Yeah. Let's go.
Ooh,
Yes.
there's going to be some tie breaking going on
Is
today,
that-
baby.
is that a harder
I
yes
like
than the last one?
tiebreakers.
Omar
right,
should
folks.
say that with conviction. Yes or no?
Gotham
Those are soft yes.
Central,
Okay.
picked
so
only
yes.
by Dom, a very brave person. Brian,
Yes.
yes or no?
Yes.
Jake, yes or no?
I'll vote yes.
I am a yes. Lars, yes or no?
Yes.
Maddie, yes or no?
I'll say yes.
Omni Dog, yes or no?
Yes.
No.
You like this, Jess?
Yeah, I
They don't
do
want to
love
know.
it. Okay, yes.
There we go.
Uncanny Omar, Gotham
Oh,
Central,
the
yes or
hardest-
no?
The hardest yes I could give. Oh my
We've
god.
got
Now you're
another
hard.
8 out of 8 must-read Batman
We
family
got a lot
book.
of hard.
I got
yeses.
2 now. I know.
Let's
I
go.
knew we'd get you there. So
All right,
I got there.
Kid Omnidog was the first out of 3 people to nominate Batman. Snyder and Capullo was nominated by him, Maddie, and Papa Omnidog. Brian, are you a yes or a no on Capullo?
I am an absolute yes on that one.
Dom,
Yes.
I don't love this run, but if we're talking about if somebody was like, is Batman cool? I've seen him in the movies. I would hand them this, so I guess that means I'm a yes.
Do you even love comics? What is
No, I'm a notorious hater of comics.
what the hell's
It's
going
hard
on
because,
with
like,
you?
I want to get into Batman. I just show up my old movies. I just put that music video. Seals Kiss from a
Bat
Rose.
dance. Bat dance. Shut
I-
the fuck up. Lars.
I will ditto what Peter said. Yes.
Okay, and the Uncanny Omar.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. I
That
knew
is
somebody
another-
would pick it. That's definitely one.
8 for 8 book, my friends.
I
Now
got
we
the
come,
triple
we
8
already
for 8.
have we already have Loban Sinsdale in. It already went 8 for 8, and we already have Rise of the Fall of Batman 8 for 8.
Did I get the
Congratulations,
perfect
Kid
score?
Omnidog.
I
Everyone
won?
loves you the most.
Okay, we'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.
Your no prize to your mailing.
That's
address.
my kid Omni Dog there.
Woo!
That's
Now
right.
he's
now.
your kid.
Woo!
Now he's your
What if
kid.
what if he's gonna be Kid Crisis Senior? Because I already have a Kid Crisis.
I'm changing
Senior.
my name.
Okay.
Hold on.
Sorry,
Wow.
I call dibs on Kid Crisis Senior. Thank you.
Okay, then I'm Crisis
Crisis
Lad.
Senior.
I
Maybe
think
Kid
she's
Crisis?
like, well, she's Crisis Woman. I don't know. We'll come back. Okay, I want to see
Crisis
who's
Lass.
going to be my friend after the stream. Let's call the vote on Grace. Ryan.
I would like to say yes, but I got to say no.
Okay,
So.
relationship with Brian ended. Dom.
Yes, because I think everyone should see how Mikhail Janin draws Dick Grayson, so I will vote yes.
That's why Dom is my friend. Jake.
It's my cat's name, Grayson, so I'm gonna vote yes.
Oh, look at the surprising support from the youth contingent. Lars, outside of that contingent, yes or no?
Well, first of all, thank you for calling me old. Secondly, do we even have a friendship to save? So, therefore, I might as well vote no.
Fair. That's fair. Maddie.
I'm gonna say yes because I want you to like me.
No, you should say yes because have you read this? Can we old
No, I
reader, reader, new reader? Yes.
I have not. I have
Ooh,
not actually.
It's so sexy. Let's old reader, new reader this
all
next
right.
time I come on the show.
That's
Okay.
the pick. Yeah.
All right. Omni Dog.
Yeah, I love this book. Yes.
Oh my god.
Things are looking up for Crisis.
get
Omar,
old.
yes or no?
Peter, you know I love you, but that's a no. That's a no. I'm sorry. Peter. Pretty can only get you so far in life, and it doesn't.
how-
mean
I'm gonna
How,
take every
if
every
you
end.
have to basically tell people this is a Batman book, they wouldn't otherwise know.
Well,
Hey,
guess what?
man,
It's
it's
beating
Dick
several of our
Grayson.
other books right now, so we will come
Oh
back and
my
talk about
God,
that a little bit more
dude.
later with my new,
it's
my new
beating
friend.
other books.
Now
Oh,
we come
Lars.
to Lars, the Norwegian assassin. Now is our time to assassinate or not his picks.
Oh,
Starting with
bullets
the
are
Hush
ready.
Saga, only picked by Lars. Brian.
I give it 2 yeses.
2 yeses.
Oh,
Whoa.
That still only counts as 1, though,
Yeah.
right?
Dom.
That doesn't count as 2.
which appendages are you holding up in support?
Lars,
What?
this is a family show.
Is it?
It's a
You
Batman
already
family
said
show.
you
in
were
fact.
on.
You already did a
asked for it
cuss,
earlier,
Omar.
Omar. So I don't know if
Yeah,
that's
I
did a
family
cuss,
or not.
and we all heard it.
Never mind, I fucked that up already. My
There's a
bad.
dollar.
That's two cusses.
Weird.
That's on me. All right.
Dom.
If Brian has 2 yeses, I have 3 nos. So 1 no.
What? What?
Balance the scales. Jake.
I like Hush the Story, but that omnibus is a hard no.
Interesting.
Wow, hard no.
If I said yes to Snyder and Capullo, I have to say yes to this.
Attaboy. Attaboy.
That's
Maddie.
some crazy reason.
I like Hush. I'm gonna say yes.
Way to go,
Omni
man.
Dog.
Love Hush the story. No to this Omni.
What?
And
That's an oxymoron.
No, I
Uncanny-
love the single story, not the saga.
the uncanny Omar.
Let's split hairs.
It's a medium yes. 2/3 of this omnibus kicks ass. The other one, I'm the only one that I know that likes it. So yeah, yes.
Oh, okay. That's gonna
Got
lead
Jim
to
Lee
some-
on art. That thing's gonna sell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also,
yeah, that's why they reprinted it 20 times, Omar.
The
And they
omnibus
probably
only
do
had one
every
printing.
year.
okay.
Yeah, that's.
Let me just throw out there before we vote on Marson, chat. If there is a book that we all didn't pick, it has to be an omnibus that
In
you
print.
think should be the chat vote.
Oh,
Start
yeah.
sounding off now, and we'll maybe make a poll.
I'll
when
make
we're
a
all
poll.
done this. Yeah.
Please.
All right.
And
I
hit
saw
that
some
like
people say
button.
Batman
You're enjoying
Eternal.
this.
Smash
I
that
saw
like
some
button.
people
Smash it.
Thank you, Brian.
Say
Yep.
Batman
Subscribe.
Silver
Hit the
Age.
notifications.
All right, moving on. Do all those things that everybody just said. Batman
Yes.
by Marson, only picked by Lars. Brian.
No.
No. Dom.
Absolutely
Yes.
no.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Jake.
Yes.
Yes. I'm a yes. Maddie.
Oh, this is gonna be.
I
madness.
haven't read it.
Just
So I
say
don't
no.
Did we
think I-
sway
But
you?
based on
Wait,
our
wait, yeah.
picture-
Why? That doesn't stop you from having an opinion, for God's sakes. I mean, just
See,
Would you
but
read it now?
if you were that interested, you would have read it by now. So,
but our pitches.
It's not necessarily.
Whoa,
the
the
case.
logic bomb.
boom.
I will say yes because it's necessary to understand more about Damien before.
Oh.
That's like Stevie Wonder saying what his favorite color is. Like,
wow.
Wow, Brian.
Wow.
Wow. They make me vote, Brian.
I
Brian.
thought this was a
They
kid's
got a
stream.
gun to my head, Brian. I can't
Omni
say it.
Dog.
okay.
No.
Omar.
That's why we're friends, Jess.
Damn, man, this is a maybe for me. I actually think.
No maybes. Go
All
hard or
right,
go home.
damn it.
Omar.
I'm gonna go no.
There we
No.
go.
Wow,
Is it a soft no or a
controversial
hard
show.
no?
We're gonna have to come back and do some tie breaking, unfortunately. Super Sons, as we move on to the wonderful Wonder Maddie. Super Sons only picked by Maddie. Brian,
No.
Dom,
I love the run, but the Omni is a no.
Jake.
I feel like I'm voting yes to everything, but yes, I love the book, but like
He just loves
I don't know.
comics. I respect
Kid Omni Dog, baby.
I like
You
everything.
did vote. You gave some no's, Jake.
Yeah.
You said no.
Uh,
on Hush.
I think the argument that convinced me was that it's 55% Superman, so I'm gonna be
That
no.
was my argument.
Well, then we balanced each other's out.
Why did I
Lars.
vote yes then? I should
Yeah,
have voted no.
55% of the 50%.
it's a
Lars.
good book, but I have to decline.
No. Omni Dog.
Yes. Love that.
Omar.
Oh, this is a yes. Yeah. Over Batman
Oh.
and Robin if I had to choose between the two.
Well,
Then
this is
Super Sons
gonna-
gets in.
I don't know. I don't have any mechanism for the amount of tie breaking we need to do. Okay. Next, we move on to Omni Dog and his he's two unique picks, actually. I don't know. Somebody else also picked Nightfall. His only unique pick was Batwoman Omnibus. Okay. Brian,
Oh,
the Batwoman Omnibus.
I wish I had more than 2 thumbs to give it thumbs down. So
Oh.
Here's a thumb for you.
Had me in the first half. Dom.
I love you, Jess.
love you,
you
Jess.
back,
You're the
buddy.
best. Love you, buddy.
I don't
No,
know.
I talked myself out of this book.
What the hell's happening, Jack?
Wait, which
I don't
Dom is gonna
know.
He's
I
voting
got
no
a
on his own
finger
thing.
over it. Come
Throw
on.
up. I just throw up 3 books and I don't even consider anything else. I don't know. I'm a mess.
I have a video recording of Jess saying "Rise and Fall of the Batman" is his favorite Batwoman book, and I can't believe
It's true. I don't know why I did this to myself.
Jess, it's okay. Stand strong, brother. Stand strong.
All right,
You
so
regret that more than
Against
Nightfall?
myself. Take it off.
Dom, was that a
Take it
no?
off.
Dom of X.
Wait, what did I say?
I don't know. What did you say? Was it a yes or a no?
No, I'll vote yes for this one.
Okay, there we go.
Oh, Dom, my man.
Tom?
You want to be my intern?
Okay,
Jake?
then I'm Omar's mentor. Actually, I'm Crisis Lad right now.
Shifting alliances.
Jake, what's your vote?
Stay on target.
No on Batwoman, but I'll probably buy it someday.
So I'm sorry, was that a no?
It's a no.
You
Okay.
are fired.
I'm a no, as mentioned previously. Lars,
No.
Maddie,
No.
Omar.
No, I guess me and Dom are the only people that like women on the books.
Wow.
Me too. Is my
Don't make
bad.
me pull
I
out
thought
my
you
graph.
Apparently,
Well,
Maddie
that
too
one
hates women.
Is the
Every
first
time
book-
one of y'all do your top writers and artists, I make a little graph at home.
I
know
bet she
those
does.
were
She's not
graphics.
crazy. I bet she does.
Oh, I have a
Batwoman is the first book that is officially not on our list. This is
Oh
like
my
three-
God,
three
you
out of eight.
monsters. Where's Greg Rucka and J.H. Williams? I'm going to tag him on this video.
Yeah.
All right, now Omar's picks. 3 potentially controversial and unique
boy.
choices.
These are
Brian,
unique. None of you picked these.
Batman Adventures Omnibus.
Love it. Love it.
Okay, Dom,
I'll vote yeah for this one.
Jake,
Can I ask how many are definite yeses already? Like, or do I have to choose? solely
there's
on
going to
my
be a lot of
opinion?
tie breaking because we got a lot of 4 out of 8, but it depends on what happens here at the end.
Does not mean good things, Arya.
I'll vote. I love Batman Adventures Omnibus. I loved it, so I'll vote yes.
All right, I don't care if something's not in continuity, so I vote no. Lars,
You're a monster.
Attitude.
So you would vote against The Dark Knight Returns, probably.
yes.
Um,
absolutely.
He would.
Oh, okay.
He would.
Would you
Zero.
vote against Watchmen?
Watchmen.
Well, that's
I
its
will-
own continuity.
I will say
Fair.
yes. I will say yes.
Lars says yes. Maddie,
I'm gonna say no.
Maddie,
I'm
do you
the
not hear
dog.
the theme song just on that cover?
No, I love the show, but I'm just saying you're talking about
Better.
the essential like Batman readings.
If
Like
you love the show, you're really going to love
Is-
Batman Adventures.
Is the follow-up
dog.
coming out good?
No.
no.
Batman and Robin
What
Adventures
the
is good.
fuck? Jess, she said no to Batman Adventures?
Well, guess what? It's
Yeah,
5 for
that's
8, which
four.
means it is in the winner's circle.
Hell yeah.
Batman by Simone. Brian. Batgirl by Simone, I should say. Brian.
Jess, you're getting old.
It's your turn to vote.
He's
I'm
not
getting
old.
old here.
He's
Give
a
us a
Silver
vote.
Age. He's a 90s comic survivor. A Silver Age, Silver
Marked
Fox.
safe from 90s comics. Brian, what is your vote?
I say absolutely yes.
Okay, Dom.
This is Batgirl, right?
Yes.
Batgirl.
yeah.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I'm sorry, was that a yes or a no? In
No,
New Zealand,
no.
yeah, no means many things.
Yeah, no.
No.
Oh yeah, no.
It's
No.
it's a thumbs down from Dom.
Thumbs down. Jake,
No, the minute they start voting against me is when I turn this show into a not family friendly or a
Every
friend-friendly
time.
show.
If
Should I say the opposite and say no, yeah? But
No,
I'm
yeah.
gonna vote no on Batgirl, but I did recently get to see Gail Simone be super excited to sign my friend's copy, but I'm gonna vote no.
Wow, they
Okay, we'll
should
make
turn
sure
that
to
into
tweet
a
that to
movie,
her,
that
along with
story.
your vote against. I'm a no.
Don't
I
be
don't like this
negative.
run. Lars.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Yeah,
of it.
see, again, a Birds of Prey by Gail Simone omnibus would be guaranteed, I think.
Yeah.
I'm gonna vote no.
Wow,
Maddie.
I am shocked.
Yes.
Thank you, Maddie.
Ooh. Omnidog, you are a critical vote here. Yes or no?
It is facing outwards right here for a reason. Yes.
My
You're
man.
gonna be crazy if you said no. You're just like it's
That
crazy guy
would
for
have
a
been
reason.
the hell of a setup. No.
All right. And finally, we come to Batman Golden Age. This also could be interesting. Brian.
Just to stir the pot real quick, Jake, you mentioned a few minutes ago Watchmen. Dan DiDio said if you like Watchmen, you should like Identity Crisis. Just throwing that out there.
Wow.
He is wrong.
Those are the choices.
Don't
I'm
listen to
throwing
the
that out
idiot.
there.
Very
I think
wrong.
that's-
People are allowed
that's
to be-
my
Let's
favorite
get
story.
sexual.
I don't
Omnibus
want to
from
unpack
DC.
that. I don't want to. I abstain from my opinion on that comment.
Hey, from DiDio's lips to God's ears. So there we go. I vote
Okay.
absolutely yes on Golden Age.
Yes. Dom.
No.
I have to.
Kid near mint. What was that?
I didn't say anything.
Not you, the real kid near mint.
Oh, I thought I was
Oh.
kidding near. Oh, okay.
I didn't even say anything. But no,
What did you vote?
because I have to stand on my morals. I do unfortunately have to vote yes for this omnibus.
Okay, unfortunately,
You can vote no on something your boss voted
No
on.
one else here stands on.
I
their
said
morals.
no to Batgirl.
Yeah, but you didn't really mean it.
What?
Jake,
Jake,
Speaking
your
for me,
vote,
SMH.
I'm gonna vote a hard no.
hard no.
Hard
I already
no.
said I am a guest on this. Lars,
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Maddie,
Lars.
No.
Omnidog, another critical vote from
Oh
you.
God.
I already told you.
Jess,
I read it and I sold it.
Jess,
No.
Jess,
no.
we need representation
doesn't-
from like dead creators.
He doesn't read
Yeah, Bill
pre-Grasshopper
Finger,
game.
bro.
There must be
Until
more dead
Grasshopper
white
Gang
guys
shows up.
on the list. I mean,
For
No,
Bill
no,
Finger.
no.
I can't believe you
justice
guys
for
just
Bill.
voted out a
For
piece
Bill
of
Finger.
history. That's
Omar.
insane.
I think
All right,
Omar's
talk
is the
amongst
only
yourselves
one
while I
that should
tabulate some votes, my
everyone.
friends.
I'm offended
have
that you
the,
guys voted out a piece of history. How dare
Do
you?
you-
Just the Grasshopper
There's
game.
a
show
lot of
up.
pieces of history that aren't good.
I'm not saying it was good, but it's still an
Yeah,
important
just look at
piece.
America's history, man.
How else do I have to read things because it's important? They're like,
Right.
well, you have to read it.
Jess doesn't like the Golden
Well,
Age
but
nor
this is-
America. You heard it
this
here
is
first.
always- Yeah, this is always the challenge of something can be historic but not good. Frankly, I'm not a fan of Demon in a Bottle. I recognize its historic importance, but every time I read that story, I'm like, this isn't very good.
Okay. What's that got to do with Batman?
No, I'm
Let
just
him-
saying that just because something's
He's cooking
historic.
right now. His brain is cooking.
I don't know
right
what
now.
Demon in the Bottle is.
It's
This-
the
yeah,
Iron
it didn't
Man.
have the Iron Man
story.
story that brought his alcoholism to the forefront.
Mm.
But I read it and I was like,
Oh, I
this,
lived that.
this is actually although it does kick his alcoholism into high gear, this is pretty bad.
Yeah.
Did we
Not a
already
fan
do
of
an X-Men Evergreen list?
We
Oh my
did.
God, yes, and it was
That-
epically bad.
It was epically great. It was arguably the best
Lars,
You-
did
you
you
know,
know-
very
I
well
suggested
got in
the
there,
Dark
Omar. I don't know
Phoenix
what you're
saga
mad
and it
about.
got
Like,
shot down. Yeah.
If you remember, Omar, I was the one who made sure that Phoenix Volume 1 did not get on that X-Men Evergreen. So you should be
That was-
thanking me.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Yeah.
All right,
poor-
I think if we had realized, some people would have put Gotham City Sirens. That's a
Paul
favorite
Dini?
for me.
I think
I thought about that, but you know, when Paul Dini's writing, it's fantastic. But when
Yeah.
he's not
Yes.
writing it, it's pretty stale.
It's downhill. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's the thing that got me. It was like my number 4 for a while last night, and then I was reading the non-Paul Dini issues. And I'm like, I just
Scott
am
Lobdell
not that
wrote some
excited.
of them.
Was it Tony Bedard or Sean McKee?
Tony
I can't-
Bedard.
Scott Lobdell wrote
Scott
some of
Lobdell.
those issues.
Some of those.
That's what
Oh,
I-
interesting.
All right.
I'm gonna
So,
keep an eye on our chat. So chat.
Everyone wants black and white.
So I'll put that in the poll. We need 4 books. So Batman Black and White is what I've seen.
Sirens.
I saw. Well,
Yeah.
there was something. I'm just looking back.
Batman
at
by
the chat.
Paul
People were
Dini.
saying Eternal.
Batman by
Eternal.
Paul Dini.
Eternal.
Yeah,
Eternals.
Dini. A lot of people said Dini.
All right, Batman. Ooh, Batman TMNT. That's man.
That's
Catwoman East of West.
A lot of people said
What
And
about
that.
by the
Murder
way,
of
this is the
Fugitive?
book
Does
that
that
you
count?
are
Catwoman of East
voting
End.
for.
Omar. East of
Hey.
West is the Hickman Indie.
Hey,
Oh, yeah,
Omar.
never mind. Yes.
Omar, we've mentioned Paul Dini numerous times. And
That's a good vote.
I'm the only one who picked Paul
I
Dini
think
on
with if you really want to know how awesome Paul Dini is and how much he reveres Batman and why you should read the Omnis and the stories, check out his interview on YouTube with Kevin Smith. The guy starts crying when he talks about Batman. That's why he's just one of the best writers for Batman. So
Wow.
Kevin Smith has an awesome Batman podcast. I
does.
just wish that he was a better Batman writer.
Oh my God, you're so
let's
correct.
not even talk about the PP. So
That's
Batman
the
Queen
least.
himself.
He's a good Green Arrow writer.
Hmm.
I like.
I'm
him.
reading that now, actually. So
Yeah, I like this Green Arrow.
Oh man, this is tough because I can only put 4. So
Superman, Batman's awesome. Yeah.
I'm just judging by how many people are saying, commenting Catwoman East.
Well, that's a good one.
Does
I
he
think
Paul
that
for
will
feet?
make it. All right. I'm gonna start build. I think
Are we warning the people that the Joker is coming to Gotham? Is that what we're doing?
it's your choice for the Bat family. This will be
Sasmurf, what are you doing saying Neil Adams? What's wrong with you?
dude, I got to meet Sasmurth. He was in our panel, like when at C2E2. It's a good guy.
Oh,
No, no.
hi.
how to put like or what he looks like.
Thank you, James Abel, my man. There it is. Everybody check that out. It's really, really good. Really good. And now you know why we fawn over Paul Dini, besides him being one of the animated series writers. So thank you, James. James is awesome.
He is a good guy.
He is.
He
I've
is.
seen him. Yeah, he pulls up all those things. Awesome.
He's the only one who can get in the chat faster than me. I don't know how he does
Yeah.
it.
Anybody else keeping an eye on the chat besides me? Like,
I was
Yeah,
before,
well,
but I'm
we're
currently
fine.
counting hanging chats here.
no,
Yeah,
you're
we've got
doing something.
Eternal, we've got Metal.
Yeah, I've totally tuned out Lars
That's-
and Peter, so I'm
Yeah.
concentrating on nothing.
Batman Eternal is awesome, by the way, my opinion.
I'm trying to be fair and putting the 4 that I see the most in there, but I got a little distracted when people kept voting for the same book over and over.
Yeah, Josh,
But not your books though, right?
Right.
And yeah, I can only add 4. So I've got Catwoman of East End, Batman Black and White, and Batman by Paul Dini. I need one more, and I'm trying to go
Catwoman.
Metal.
Well, I saw
Catwoman.
Metal a couple of times. O'Neill and Adams.
Batman Murderer Fugitive. That's going to be an omnibus.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
but it's not out yet.
Crisis Lad. I would have picked that one if it was out. I love that.
I
story.
love that story too. It's a good
Great
one.
story.
Starts off real. That's the Brubaker era too, and
Yeah.
Greg Rucka.
Yeah. It's money.
Omar,
Omar,
I think-
wasn't that the one? Wasn't that the one you said had a European Omni and you had it right?
It's 4
Yeah.
deluxe editions that have
4
a
deluxe
connecting spine.
editions that Super Laugh Hard sent my way.
Right.
I think Jess ended up with it too, right?
And
Yeah.
me.
well,
I
I'm
feel like-
glad. I'm glad they're
And
releasing
Crisis
Omni.
Lad up
Yeah.
there. All right, I'm adding Metal, I guess, because no, I think there's more votes for Batman TMNT.
Yeah, that's
Crisis
You know
Lab.
Batman, like Batman 56.
All right, I'm adding Batman TMNT. Go yell at your fellow.
Everyone
Crisis
wants
Lad.
to
You need
read
one of the
that.
rings.
That's barely an Omni. That's basically a deluxe edition.
Raphael.
Don't hate
Well,
on the
This
chat.
Saturday,
while
my
the
parents
chat
died.
begins to vote, is the voting started?
No, not yet, but I'm going to. All right, everybody. As of right now, including the panelists, we can vote too if you open it up on your whatever device.
Trying to open it.
I'm going to start the poll. So, what is your choice for the next Batfamily Omnibus Evergreen? There you go. Those are your 4 choices. Get to voting. I'll leave it up for a while because Peter's doing something. What do we got, Peter?
Well, now if you could reshare the share.
Reshare to share. Got it.
So we have a 5-way tie for our final 2 slots.
Woo!
Oh, a 5-way tie.
So
2
if we can
slots.
kick out or
See
take
if the
in
chat
one,
supports win.
we could do a poll for the rest of them. So is anybody who voted no on any of these books willing to change to a yes?
I
Man.
voted no on Batman No Man's Land, and I am not willing to change my vote.
Can I change my yes to a no on one of the books?
You could. That would get us down
I-
to 4.
Someone said an argument where Super Sons was 55% Superman, and I feel like that makes sense. So I'm going to change
Someone
mine to a no.
unidentified, but somebody said it.
He was
Someone
very
who-
good looking.
Who doesn't really read comics like you think?
All right,
I
so
collect
Omar,
them.
Did I? Or
This
is that
will
it?
be
Or, well, I was going to flip too, but okay.
all right.
Yeah.
This will be the second poll. The top 2 vote getters will make it in.
Okay.
Drum roll, please.
So I'm sharing your screen, Peter. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. So what are we doing here?
So though you got to run a, we are totally tied as a panel on these 4 books,
Oh,
having kicked one
God.
out. So you need to run a poll to see which 2 the chat will tiebreak us on.
Well, the chat right now is voting on.
Well, when they're done,
Wait,
that
I think
vote, they'll
Lars
vote on
Lars said
this.
he was going to flip on one of the books too.
Did I vote
Wait.
no on Batgirl?
You did.
Let
You
me
did,
check.
Lars.
You did vote no on back.
I could be persuaded to vote yes on that one.
Okay, well then we only need a tiebreak between 3 of these books.
Okay. So I'm going to remove this again. Everybody keep voting. I'm going to leave the voting up for another minute. And wow. Well, although, wow, Paul Dini's Batman is winning. Well,
Hey man, that's a really good.
49%.
run. I just wish it was
It's a
better
good vote.
collected.
so you guys can go vote.
Yeah.
too. You guys can
That
go
Paul
vote.
Dini book's incomplete.
I told myself I was just going to get the absolute of Hush and the Paul Dini omnibus, but I bought the Hush omnibus also.
That a boy.
I'm
Me
not
too.
one.
Me too.
You
I
need
can't
Hush
get enough
returns.
Hush. Can't get enough. I have the trade paperback of that.
Can I phone a friend? Yeah, sure. Phone your friend. Tell him to hit that like button.
Please do.
I hope he calls me.
Oh, Jake, that is the saddest thing I've heard tonight.
Man, my phone didn't ring.
Whew, that was a lot of tabulating.
All right, I'm adding this to the. I'm gonna end the poll here in a second. We've got 93 votes. Let's make that into a rounded 100. Though I think Batman Paul Dini's gonna make it. So if you're home right now watching on your PlayStation 5, I don't know if you can vote or not. You can vote on your phone.
Again, there's a if you press the description.
Did somebody ask me?
I have one.
What's that? Oh yeah,
I'm gonna run
you can
down,
tell how
downstairs
people
and
watch
vote on my
stream.
PS5.
You can vote on your
Omar.
phone.
Omar, I think it's a good time to say smash that like button again. So
Oh, thank you, Brian. I should
smash that like button, subscribe, ring for notifications.
Thank you, sir.
is
Wow, you are
Near
on
mint
the
condition
ball.
is the money channel.
Now's the time to do your Levi jeans plug.
Okay, we got two more. Got over 100 votes. All right, I'm calling it. Thank you, everybody, for running to your PS5s and voting. And ending the poll right now. Let me see if I can share the poll from here. I don't think I can, but I can read it. So, Batman by Paul Dini, 51%. Catwoman of East End, 28%. Batman TMNT, 12%. Batman Black and White, 6%. I'm sorry, but Batman by Paul Dini is the winner. That is the choice of the
That's a good one.
people. The majority, not the
I
people.
feel good
Not
about
everyone,
that.
but the majority. So thank you for
All right.
entering.
Let's get that tiebreak vote.
All right, here we go.
Only one can be actually a winner here.
Who's voting on this? Us or the
Us, the
chat?
audience.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to leave it up to everybody. Can you make that bigger, Peter? Of course you can.
Oh yeah, sorry, I'm out of presenting mode.
That's what she said. Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry too, Omar. Sorry. All right, we're going to start a poll. You all have the choice here. Which one is going to the final 10? All right. And I got to write these down.
So glad
How did
Nightfall's
Batman by Snyder and Capullo not make it?
Wait, it did
Didn't
make
it?
it.
What are
It
you
did make
talking
it.
about?
It was 8 for 8.
I got a perfect score.
on it.
Oh, because there's a lag on the YouTubes. Hold on a second, everybody. Chill. Don't yell at me, damn it.
Trying to take away my perfect game.
That was like 15 minutes ago.
I just said there's a lag on the YouTube.
There's a
Oh,
lag
did
in the Omar brain.
Oh, hey! I thought we were done fighting. What the hell?
Oh,
Oh,
no.
sorry,
Oh,
was
no,
the
we're
fighting
just getting
portion over?
started.
While
No, no.
Omar gets this poll going, let's give him some cover here. For
It's-
those of you who on the panel who have voted or intend to vote on the DC Omnibus Most Wanted poll, what is your most wanted Batman Omnibus or Batfamily Omnibus that doesn't exist yet, Brian?
I can't think of off the top of my head. The one that I really wanted is going to come out, the Bruce Wayne Murder Fugitive. So
Yeah, that's a good choice.
yeah, that would have been it. And just it's like, oh wow, it's getting printed. Okay, cool. So
All right.
Dom, what would
I'm
be
afraid
your
mine.
Did
I
Did
don't-
they actually
or
announce
what?
that?
yeah,
Yeah.
Vote.
Well, they
It was,
didn't.
it was on our.
You
stream
announced it.
just a
You
couple
were
months
on
ago.
the stream with
All
us.
four of us were there.
Dude, you
Hello,
know-
darkness, my
What
old
show is this?
friend.
You are the worst near
I've
mentor
come
ever.
to
All
You
right.
already sold
Thank
your
you.
deluxe editions on eBay.
Thank you.
All right, so the poll is up. Go and vote. We got 66 votes already.
My answer would be the Tom King omnibus that's not collected, just because that was like I bought every single issue. I have the deluxe editions, but like I still would love an omnibus. And
Yeah.
I'm scared that
Yes.
you're not going to like me anymore that I said that.
Jess, December 17th is when the Omni's supposed to drop for a fugitive murderer. So
Thank you. Thank you for that.
you are very
Lars,
welcome.
what Batman Omnibus do you think most needs to exist in the world?
Birds of Prey by Gail Simone.
Oh,
Yes.
Good choice.
If that's
Good
not
choice.
in the top 20, I
If
will
they
be
could just
shocked.
collect it in a reasonable way at all.
yeah.
Yeah, certainly.
Complete
Yeah,
collection.
Compendiumize it
If
now
it
that
was
we've
just
said it.
complete in some kind of form or fashion,
Yeah, like numbered trades would be really cool.
every issue.
Yeah.
Jess, what Batman Omnibus that doesn't exist would you most like to see exist?
non-recolored Neil Adams.
Yeah, I want to see the beginning of the Bronze Age Batman Omnibus, 70 to 72.
Yeah,
when
me too.
with Denny O'Neil, unretouched Neil Adams and art. That is what I want.
All right, everybody, make sure you're voting.
Also, Nightwing from Tom Taylor for me.
Oh, yeah.
Good choice. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Because I mean, the
everybody.
artwork's phenomenal. The
It is.
layout, the panel layout's so good. I can't wait to have that properly collected.
Something oversized.
A Mark
Mhm.
Waid's World's Finest omnibus would be cool.
Yes, World's Finest every day. Oh, so good.
You must love that Titan stuff, right?
Yes, I do. I mean, it's just perfect. I mean, it just feels classic. That
I
you
just-
can give to a new reader. You can give him World's Finest.
It's fun, and it just makes me feel positive after I read it.
Fantastic.
I didn't like this, like the crossover that they did, like the Lazarus Planet, but like all that stuff wasn't worth reading. But just read the World's Finest, and that's great.
I just want to put this out there. I'd love to see a absolute edition of Justice League Darkseid War. So
Mm-hmm.
Is that the Jason Fabog?
yes, Jason Fabok.
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
is he right now? His art is so great.
Twice.
And is he hopefully making bank doing like storyboards for somebody because he's
Yeah,
so
where
No,
good.
no, no. He's doing his own stuff called Rook.
Oh, he
You can
is?
check-
Where?
Yeah, you can
Oh,
check it out on my
it's
channel.
the
We
Jeff
interviewed him.
Johns image stuff.
Oh,
that
I
he
will
was working
definitely
on.
watch your
Yeah.
James, link that video.
All right.
To answer your question,
I'm
though, Peter.
my
Wait,
number
go ahead,
one-
Omar. Sorry.
No, Dom, did you say what number one
I
Batman?
never said it.
I never. did
Dom,
either.
what is yours?
Cassandra Cain by Kelly Puckett, Damian Scott, Volume 1.
It's a good one.
Very nice.
Had no idea how popular it was, and then as
I
we were
didn't
doing the
either.
DC Omnibus chat, people were freaking out. I was like, I had no idea.
Yeah.
I missed out on those trade paperbacks, and I want Solace because I already have Stephanie Brown Batgirl. I have Red Robin and Single, so I'm covered there. But I don't have Cassandra Cain as Batgirl.
And Cassandra Cain wasn't fully covered in trade paperbacks anyway. They discontinued that. Mine is a post-crisis Batman. Year 1, Year 2, all that. Give it to me. Give it to me. Up there with Dixon's Nightwing too, because I
My
love
trade
Scott
paperbacks
McDaniels.
are looking beat up of those. Like some of them were stolen from a library that I bought on eBay, not knowing.
Isn't that the worst when it's like lightly
Yeah.
used and then you get it and it's got all the library stuff all?
An absolute Promethea that I got recently came destroyed, but eBay takes care of you.
Omar, can we have some interviews with writers? I did. I interviewed Kelly Thompson this past
Kelly
Monday.
Thompson was just on the
epic.
channel.
Epic. The
I
interview.
interviewed. Oh my gosh, this week has been busy. Oh, I mean, just this week alone, I think I interviewed 3 different creators. Was it?
Mhm.
Yeah, you have a lot.
Oh, I
No.
haven't done the poll yet.
Well, Elmer's about to end it because we're over 100
Yeah,
votes. So
go, I
get in
got
there.
one more minute. Yeah, so I did.
No, I meant the most wanted poll. I've been
Oh, the most
lagging on that.
wonderful. You have
Yeah,
until
get on that, get on that.
Wednesday, the
I did
20-something.
Owen and Morgan Rosenberg. I'm interviewing Sue Lee on Tuesday.
Omar,
Yes.
can I
Sorry, yeah.
drop a plug? Can I drop a plug?
Yeah, of course you can.
I don't want to be rude. I'm sorry. If you're looking for writers and artists, you can go to my channel, Sheehan is Dead Comics. Like I said earlier, we interviewed Philip Kennedy Johnson. We interviewed Judd Winnick. We interviewed Jason Fabik. We interviewed Dan DiDio. We interviewed Rags Morales. So if you're looking for interviews, go check out my channel, please.
Jimmy Palmiotti.
Jimmy Palmiotti too. Yep, did that for.
I love interviewing him and Amanda together.
And
They're
just
freaking
to let you
riot.
know, I did ask the questions for Jess. I said, my friend Omnidog wants to know, Jim, and he answered your questions.
I know, and I appreciated that.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, ending the poll.
Whenever
Wow,
I say
that
my
is
friend Omnidog, he says my employee Jake.
Wow. that is
Well,
a surprise.
Well, so you went from intern to employee now. Okay.
No,
All right,
Unpaid. Unpaid.
Hold on.
Crisis has now got ownership of him.
Okay, we can discuss ownership of a kid later on. Batman and Robin Omnibus is at 48%, so that's the winner. I'm really surprised that beat out Batman Nightfall Omni Volume 1, 30%, and then 21% for Batman No Man's
Thank
Land.
you all, chat, for.
So the chat got to pick, and they picked Batman and Robin Omnibus.
It is pretty great.
Okay, we need to recount. No, Doug, we're not recounting.
There it is, folks. based on both the panel.
Wow,
and
that
your
was quick,
very
Peter.
important input. This ain't no New Zealand or no United States election. In New Zealand, the
What?
votes are certified quickly.
Wow.
Must be nice.
Yeah.
Holy crap! Wait a minute, Grayson did
I
not get voted in there.
I cannot quite believe that Grayson's on that list, but otherwise,
happened?
5 people voted yes.
no,
That's just because there's no Nightwing Omnibus.
I know.
If there was
How
any
did that
other
beat
Nightwing
out
Omnibus,
Batwoman's gorgeous artwork?
How did Hush Saga get on there?
That makes sense. That's Jim Lee, Jess.
But that
Let
a
it
third
go.
of that
people
is
were voting
terrible
for the Hush
writing.
story,
It-
not the whole omnibus.
Hush story is great, but this saga, ugh.
I think the thing with omnibuses, though, depending on the omnibus, is you sort of expect some not great material to be in. I own a few omnibuses that some of it's not great, but a lot of it is, and that's why. I have it.
Dom, are you?
Oh, wait a minute. Nightfall is not on this list. That's crazy. Peter, what the hell did you do?
That's heresy.
I know
Heresy.
you did this. How did we not have Nightfall on here? But
Do you think we swung too high and too low for 90s comic readers? Like, you have me and Dom who are like post
there is a
90s
huge,
readers.
I needed more people my age. I needed more people.
I just don't want people to experience Azrael Batman. It's nothing against.
Dude, he's
Bane.
so cool
I
and
just-
edgy.
I hate Azrael Batman with a glaring passion, which is why I didn't vote for Nightfall Volume 1 in the first place.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I can't.
It's a shame because
Hi-
Azrael by Denny O'Neil and Barry Kitson, I think is actually a really pretty great series.
I would agree. Like I like the Denny
Sort
O'Neil
of
stuff,
Azrael
and
is
I
amazing.
appreciate what Tynan did to make me like him. I just hate him as Batman. I just do.
Well, yeah, and
Well, I mean, that was the reason, right? Like, they
That's just
wanted
it.
you to
Yeah.
hate
In
him.
interviews, they admitted Denny. I think Denny gave some interviews where he said, Azrael Batman was meant to not be liked. Unfortunately, his perception was some people actually got behind what he was doing, and Denny was like, no. He's meant to be amoral, but.
Well, for me with the 90s books, it's like the 90s books I want are not an omnibus. I want to vote for immediate post-crisis Batman, which I know is 87.
Yes.
I want to vote for what came immediately after Nightfall, which I love, not an omnibus. I want to vote for Robin starting in 1993, but not an omnibus. I want to vote for Nightwing 95. I want to vote for Jim Balent Catwoman. I want to vote for Birds of Prey. Even Chuck Dixon Birds of Prey is great. But none of that's an omnibus. So, like, as the 90s kid here, I kind of was like struggling for what my favorite Bat books were a little bit.
So you
because
did
all
not
of those
pick
books,
the one Nightfall book that represented the 90s.
because it was garbage.
Oh my god! I was wrong.
Peter.
I can't believe we put shitty night.
The Order of
Hush
Saint
Saga
Dumas
in
told
there.
me
Yeah,
and
but Dick
Chris
Grayson's
by
hot,
saying,
so he
don't
gets
vote
my
for
vote.
Nightfall Volume
Wow.
1. That's what happened.
The chat pointed this out. The one that's a little neglected, I always feel, is Legends of the Dark Knight, which starts in like late 1989. And
Yeah, another
That's in the DC chat.
so
Phenomenal
good. They
Batman
could do the
stuff.
first 40
the chat mentioned it, and there's so many great creators in there, and yet barely collected.
Peter, did you mention that you want to know what comes after Nightfall? Is that what you said?
Well, I
No, he
think there
wants
needs to be an
collected.
omnibus after Nightfall, starting with
Okay.
Troika, which the new Nightfall.
Well,
trade
because Prodigal
led.
is included at the end of Nightfall, where Bruce takes off and he gives the mantle to Dick for a period.
Oh,
That's another good
Brian,
story.
Brian, hold on. I'm gonna stop you
Sorry.
right there. I'm gonna
Sorry.
stop you right there because let me tell you, this man has not been sleeping for 2 months, mapping out the entire DC catalog in omnibus format.
But if anybody's going to tell me that I don't know a story about Batman,
Prodigal.
It's gonna be me.
Brian.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be
Prodigal.
Brian. It's gonna be me. You then
Where
choose
was
Nightfall.
Brian in the group chat about the poll, Omar? Why was I mapping Batman?
As
we have
as
the
Christ
expert
allowed,
list.
I'd never disagree with you.
Thank
There's
you,
a group
Peter.
chat.
Thank you, Peter. Peter, that's a big compliment. Thank you. I appreciate
Peter,
that.
your
Y'all
community,
drinking
thank
too
you for your
much
service.
fluoride and y'all's water to crap on cheese of Nightfall. Thank you for that, Nikki.
I don't know
Making
what that
some
means.
sense there.
Wow, what?
Thank you, Nikki.
That's
You
a
are
lot
the
of words.
best. You are the best.
Wait a minute. Did Jess vote against Nightfall? Because I know it's one of his picks.
He voted against all his books, I think, right?
Once you pick something, you
Knock
gotta
him
change your
down.
vote.
I hated all my picks.
They were already
And we hated them too.
He was
I
like,
hate all
who
my
came up
picks.
with
It,
this?
it was like
All the
someone
time.
twisted your arm for Nightfall. It was
I
funny.
kept thinking it was a joke. Like, I thought you were just doing the long con, and then you're gonna say, "Here's my actual." And then I realized it wasn't a joke, and I was like,
Peter used a term that I haven't heard in a long time when I said it in. He said, "You are punking me."
He lured us into a sense of overconfidence, but then he forgot to strike.
Yes.
Also, I'm upset that nobody just picked Morrison 1, 2, 3. I was really expecting someone.
I don't like Morrison.
That's
3.
a little
I like
Yeah, I thought of
That's a
it, but
little-
I knew
too
someone
much
else was
Morrison
going to
in
put
one
up
place.
Morrison. So that's
That's like
I'm
playing
surprised
Battleship
it
and
was only
putting all your
one
ships in one
person.
corner.
Wait,
Yeah.
Morrison made it in there?
if it was
And
extended
Nightfall
out to
did it.
5, I would have put 1, 2, and 3 on there.
I
think-
this isn't as bad as the Marvel Omnibus. Evergreen. I would be okay handing this over to DC as my assignment, but I would have to secretly replace a book I'm not gonna name or the person that chose it, but it's totally Peter's choice of Grayson with
How many
Nightfall.
printings is that? Mr. Sales are the most important thing to vote for.
Most
How many
important.
printings has that Grayson book had?
Not
Uh,
2 or 3.
Two
right?
really
That
small
too.
printings.
That too.
Two small printings.
2?
Yeah.
All right,
Add
we'll
2.
see. I'm gonna
Nightfall's had
One-
Nightfall's
yeah.
had 15.
One doesn't sense it's scorching off the shelves, but yeah.
I love how schmarmy
So Grayson's
Lars
the
gets
new
with his
Phoenix.
tone.
I mean, but at least it's an omnibus.
Grayson
and
was
not a
printed in
compendium.
2017, 2019, and 2022, my
Well,
friend.
there's
Yeah.
been
No. That's wrong. That's wrong.
That's wrong.
That is misinformation.
19 was just
All
a
right.
restock.
Yeah,
Let me
19
pull out- let me
was,
pull
19
out
was
my
just a
Grayson Omnibus.
19 was just a restock. 20
Okay.
the first reprint came in 2023, I think.
Yeah, I bought the reprint like last year.
But it's not about sales. It's about me replacing Grayson with Nightfall. That's what it's about.
Okay, here's my question: would you
I-
put the other Nightwing omnibus over it if you were going to give this list to
Yes!
DC?
Hell
If
yeah.
there was a 90s Nightwing omnibus,
No,
Oh,
I
God,
meant like,
yes.
I meant no.
Oh,
I'm
certainly.
saying,
Yeah.
would you put Grayson or Prince of Gotham on?
Oh
your
no, hell no,
Batman
no. I
Evergreen
would
list?
put Grayson over Prince of Gotham. Prince of
Prince
Gotham
of
is not
Gotham,
that
the,
good.
Yeah,
the
we
first
need
arc
some
is
night-
good.
we
The
have
final arc
Batgirl.
is good, but the middle 2 arcs are kind of like.
We give
Oh,
love to
this is a good question. Peter and I have been talking about this, and what's the
absolute.
next Evergreen show going to be? In June I wanted to do something a little different. Peter and I had talked about in the past, and it's about the top 10 graphic novels that every library should have. And I was going to do my list because my friend Heather, who Maddie knows as well, is a librarian, and she asked me this question 2 months ago, and I was like, that is a damn hard
Great.
question.
Put me
Hey,
on that
Omar?
show.
Do a
Put me
lot
on
of
that
thinking.
show.
Yeah, we need
Omar, are
Matt.
you going to do them by
And
public?
Kristen. Put Kristen on that show.
Are you going to
Well-
do them by publisher or just like the straight 10 greatest Marvel DC?
No, it's not going to be about publisher. It's going to be just 10 because Peter came up with the wonderful idea of whatever 10 we choose, that's the 10 we donate to the library.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's a great
And I
like
said,
that.
that's awesome. Please don't vote for any Omnis because I have to buy them out of my own pocket.
I will
easy.
go in 50-50
Upgrade
with
soul.
you.
You
on
are
that one.
not. I got it.
Number
but yeah,
1, upgrade soul. Number 2, upgrade
I
soul
think-
again.
I think that one has to be a little different where I think everybody has to come in maybe with their own, like maybe 5 choices instead of 3 because it's just such an important thing, right?
Yeah.
And I don't want to like vote against anything on
Right,
that one
it's
because
so
I don't.
hard.
Yeah, I
It'd
want
be
to find a way to
than
do
this,
the
'cause
voting.
This is like crapping on your friend, but since this is like going to a library, it's like I don't agree with that one. I think this one might be better, Peter.
I'd be too scared to vote no against anybody's picks.
I mean, I'm looking at my
That one.
library shelf right here. March might be one of my picks.
It's a good one. That's the top shelf
so-
book. Yeah,
so
so
many
there's a
good ones.
lot, and it's a lot
Yeah.
that I think by the beginning of June, I'm gonna make my own list, and I'm gonna and then I'm gonna get everybody together on a Sunday. I think it's the best day that worked well for everybody. So yeah, that will be the next one, and then when I come back from vacation, I definitely want to do a Spider-Man one, Spider-Man Omnibus, and then Absolutes. That was a lot of fun. That was Bruce's idea. And then we can just keep doing this. We really rely on a lot of people to give us ideas. So that's how this all kind of spun out. Like
Yeah.
us talking about the Marvel Evergreen, and people were like, "What would your Evergreen be?" And I'm like, "I want to let's do a panel. That would be a lot of fun. Like if we really worked there."
Omar, I would love to be on your absolute list, your absolute show. I have a ton of them, so that would be cool.
Okay, I will keep that in mind.
Please.
Superman Evergreen, yeah.
They need to
There's
do
not
make
even
more
10
omnibuses
Superman
first. There's
omnis,
not enough
though.
to choose from.
There's
yeah.
only, 4 modern Superman omnis?
Not with that attitude, Jake. We're getting
It's
the
almost
triangle
easier
here.
to talk about Superman like individual stories than it is omnibus.
well, there's
yeah.
more omnis coming out. There's the Triangle era. They have
So 5 modern Superman omnis. I feel like it should be.
they're
Five omnis
reprinting
you
the
can
one where
choose
he goes
from.
in space.
Actually, you
Listen,
know,
that's one
We
of the
just do
5.
Superman story, and
Yeah.
then I can put in Superman versus Meshi, the number 1.
God damn it.
Yes.
It's so
Throw
good.
that in there. Actually, Tiger Eyes gave us some really good ideas. It was like Mount Rushmore of writers, Mount Rushmore of artists, like, and do a panel about that. There was a bunch of ideas that Tiger Eyes sent our way, and I shared it in the group, the Evergreen group. But yeah, that was our list. This is our list, whether you like it or not.
There's an Evergreen group message, and I'm not in it.
Oh
not ever-
my!
I'm gonna go phone
this
a
is
friend.
how Crisis Lad is going to turn to Dark Crisis Lad.
I'm gonna grow up to be my god.
Heroes in Crisis.
Crisis Lad Prime.
That book
Anti-crisis.
is wonderful, and that would definitely make it in my top 10.
I heard that was
Absolutely.
a good story. Yeah.
I bought it after your Absolute video.
It's,
I loved
it's definitely worth it. Okay. Woo! That was fun.
Good job, everybody. I'm really proud of
I'm really proud of our list. All
No
things
one cried.
considered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody
We
cried.
didn't-
Not
we weren't-
outwardly.
We weren't too harsh on each other. Lars used like 10 words I had to look up on google.com.
Omar only cussed
wasn't
3
that bad.
times. There's only $3 in the swear jar.
So we will be back with another Evergreen video. Please, if you're watching this later, leave comments down below. Let us know what you want us to talk about and argue about. And but the next one is definitely the graphic novels that belong, the top 10 graphic novels that belong in every library.
Okay.
Which is gonna be hard, but that's the way I like it.
Omar.
Clip
All
that.
right.
That's a good one.
Yeah, you can clip that, James.
James just prompted you for something in the chat there, Omar.
Omar, don't you have something you want to announce about this coming Saturday? It's a big day. Well, I'm not having a baby. I'm not getting married. Oh, it is 8 years of making videos on YouTube on Near Mint Condition. We're celebrating. Holy crap, 8 years since I gathered my friends together to make videos. So we'll be celebrating on Saturday. We may have some guest surprises.
Okay.
Maybe. Yeah.
Someone really-
Thank you for that reminder, dude. Completely forgot. Thank you, James. Man, 8 years. A
That's
lot of me
awesome.
talking. Glad that I got other people to come on and start
It's more than
talking, too.
1/3 my age.
Omar, you got me started on Omnis, man. I'm grateful.
What's that, Brian?
Damn.
I
you.
said you got me started in collecting omnibuses, and I'm forever grateful. So
Oh, dude, it is my absolute pleasure. I'm sorry.
and
to
that-
your
that's
wall,
that's the truth. They come in like every few weeks, pre-orders and everything. So
Oh, I'm sorry to your wallet and your credit account.
Oh,
Yeah.
so we should watch the first video. We should put in like at least one of like the old intros or something.
Yeah, I'll work on a clip show or something. Maybe. Wait, I got an
You're so
intern.
good.
Well, I got a project manager. What'd you call yourself? Whatever Dom is, I'll get Dom to help me with that. That would be good.
hey, can we give a big thank you to Peter for his work? Thank you,
Here's
Peter.
best.
We always do.
No, like you did awesome, man. Thank you. I really appreciate your enthusiasm
thank
for
you.
the medium. So,
Oh, that's so kind. Look, I don't have anybody to argue with in real life, so you know, it's really fun to have a group of people who are so passionate about something that you can really have fights like this, right? And the thing is that we all end positive. Like for as much as we say this book sucks or that book sucks, the whole point of Near Mint Condition is like comics are great. And
Yes.
so it's really nice to watch a YouTube show where people can disagree with each other, and at the end, the story is still all comics are great. And so hopefully that's what everybody gets as the net outcome every
Well,
time they watch one of these fights.
Yeah.
You know,
This is-
Lars and I actually do talk to each other outside of these shows.
We do.
Spoilers.
well, I sent you.
I too enjoy those intimate moments in the back alley. Yes.
I know.
Uh,
Everyone.
No, but this has made me want to read more Batman.
Yeah,
You know?
same.
You got me to read hundreds of issues of Batman. Me, Crisis, read Batman.
Unironically.
Unironically.
Yeah, I just want to thank my panel, my guests here tonight, because this is so much more fun than just hearing myself talk and editing the video about my favorite Evergreen Batman Omnis. I like discussing things and I like arguing with people and raising my voice and my blood pressure at the same time. But at the end of the day, I still love it, each and every single one of these people, except you.
Omnidog.
You know who I'm talking about.
Omnidog.
Is that me?
I don't like that.
I feel like that was.
I love
me.
making people guess. It's what I do.
That's going in
It's
my
not.
diary.
Yeah. I like giving people anxiety. Just ask my kids. Okay. I think that's
Cereal.
it. Thank you so much for watching, everybody.
Yes,
I'm gonna
thank
let
you
these
everyone for watching.
wonderful people tell you where you can find them. So starting from Brian, then we'll go through all the way to OmniDog.
Check
Go ahead,
me
Brian.
out. Sheehan is Dead Comics. Put it in the search bar in YouTube. And like I said, you'll see all the great interviews I've had, all the cool people that have come on, including Jess and Omar at different times, Jess and Omar together, which was a ball and a blast. Check me out. Sheehan is Dead Comics, and like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it.
You can find me on Domofx as per usual and on this channel. If there's something that you see video-wise, graphics-wise, was probably created by me. I am putting out a video for the first time tomorrow in like 2 months. So that's going to be a doozy. And of course, comicreleases.com, your one-stop shop for all of your collected editions on release dates and everything else. So be sure to check me out there too.
Well said.
And I'm Jake from The Brave and the Boys. I flip allegiances, so if I'm Crisis Lad, you can check out crushingcrises.com for all your reading orders and news on collected editions.
Wow.
I don't know anyone who reads that much. He says he reads 8 issues a day, but that could be old issues, which feel like you're reading 8 issues, so more power to him. And I do YouTube videos and TikToks and the Discord and all that stuff. But honestly, I've been on a break from comics for about a week and a half, and I'm going on bike rides and getting outside, and I feel refreshed doing this panel. I'm excited to read a comic for the first time in like 2 weeks.
Are you having withdrawal symptoms?
No, I hit like super burnt out stage on comics for the first time, and I didn't read for like 2 weeks. But after this stream, I'm gonna read some comics.
Okay.
Like I feel good. This healed me.
Okay. Maddie,
Me.
where can
Hi.
people find you?
You can find me here on Tuesdays. I do a live show 8 p.m. Eastern, Old Reader, New Reader. We had a little bit of a hiatus because I've been busy working, but we're back. And I'm scheduled ahead of time. So you can catch some fine people here. You'll see Peter probably soonish sometime. And we're doing Exterminators on Tuesday with TikTok Tina, who helps makes the TikToks for this channel. And I'll be there Saturday, so you'll see me there Saturday.
Oh, good. Lars, where can people find you, buddy?
Yeah, Lars Pearson, Norwegian Assassin. I'm at madnorwegian.com. And outside of comics, I am known as that Doctor Who guy. I co-write with Lance Parkin A History, which is the bowel contorting timeline to Doctor Who.
Wow.
I
don't think I've ever heard that.
Well, literally over 1 million words. I mean, it's 1.1 million.
Are you eating them?
Yeah. Thank you, James.
Very nice, James.
Doctor Who showing on Disney Plus right now. Yes,
He does not work for Disney Plus.
I do not work for Disney Plus.
Peter, my buddy, where are you, and how can people find you?
I am Crisis with a K all over the comics loving internet. My home on the internet since August 26th, 2000, which maybe is before some people on the panel was born, is crushingcrisis.com, where I have guides to collecting and reading the Marvel and DC universes. And every week I cover every Marvel and DC new release in floppy and collected editions to explain exactly what they're about, because I've read them all. And they're over 4.5 million words, closing in on 5 million words on crushingcrisis.com. So plenty to entertain
It's
you.
the best.
Maddie approved.
Why did you sound like you were falling down a well as you yelled?
How do you know I'm not?
That was the rabbit hole of clicking links on Crushing Crisis.
I've been sitting too long with my ADHD. I'm just like all that energy.
And the Sage is next. The Sage.
And OmniDog, who are you?
I'm OmniDog, OmniDog's Vault on YouTube, OmniDogs_Vault on Instagram, and I have a Discord that was created for me. It's a lot of fun if you want to join. James will put up the address for it, I'm sure. Okay, great. He's already started. Thank you, James. And I am going to be venturing into the world of TikTok, courtesy of Crisis Lad.
Your project manager.
My project manager.
Will there be promotion confirmed?
We will be giving it a try and see if I can last more than 10 seconds on TikTok.
That should be the name of your biography.
You're gonna go
I
down the
want
wrong
dances. I want
rabbit hole.
trend audios, Crisis Land. I want it to be serious here. Okay?
Make
We're gonna
make
work on our
a
dance floor.
Whatever
Make
Maddie
this
wants. Just
Crisis
yeah,
Land.
sounds good. If that's what the audience wants, sure.
That's what I
Oh,
want.
that's actually a good question that James has. I'm happy to do that. We're gonna James has already put together a Jeopardy board with X-Men questions for us to play X-Men Jeopardy with Omar, Peter, Dom, and maybe Riley. So that's something for us to think about.
X-Men questions, huh? Never heard of them. Is it based on the cartoon?
Yeah. Only Evolution. That's the only
Omar.
Darn.
Omar,
I
did you
actually
dig
like that.
the X-Men 97?
It's crap. No, yes, I loved it. It's great. I actually got Peter to admit how much he loved it too.
You dig it, Peter?
There's a video on this very channel with us
He kind
with
of liked it
Amanda
a lot.
talking
Crazy.
about it
You
episode by
teaser.
episode,
What a
rating each
tease.
one.
What a tease.
Oh,
But
he's a teaser.
Not
all
as
right.
good as X-Men Evolution, though. Just kidding.
No, boo.
I like Spike in X-Men Evolutions.
Wolverine in the X-Men was actually decent. That cartoon.
I think it's better. Yeah, I think it's better. And I'm the Uncanny Omar. I'm here every day.
Woo!
Like tomorrow, and making a couple videos a day.
The hardest working man in comics.
Oh no,
Yes.
that's all the writers. I just talk about their stuff. And artists and inkers and letters.
So how
and
about the
comics.
hardest working man in collected editions? Is that better?
I
Comic
think
book.
Hey,
David Gabriel would maybe be mad at that statement.
Right. Yeah.
It's okay. I'll take the hardest working man on this panel.
Is
I said
it-
man. Nobody agrees. Okay, that's okay. Thanks.
I don't
Thanks,
know.
guys.
Have you seen a million
already
words on the
left.
Doctor Who blog? And have you seen his his list, his reading
You know,
orders?
he didn't tell you half of that was written by Chat GPT though.
Oh, how dare you?
We can't say I'm the hardest working woman on this panel, though.
That's why I said man. See,
That
There we
cannot
go.
be disagreed with. So
There we go.
And I'm
And
the
I got
hardest working lad.
Dom's working for me right now. He's making a slideshow for me. That's
He's-
why
He's not even on
invisible.
camera.
Dom's
He's already back to
invisible.
work.
He's already left.
yeah, that's how hard of a worker he is. Everybody have a wonderful night. Thank you for joining us. And
Yes,
hit
thank
that
you, everyone.
like button.
Peace
Check out
and
the
love.
the
Peace and
wonderful
love.
folks'
Thank you.
channels. Have a good one. The hardest